It's race number 19 of the regular season, closing in on the playoffs as the hunt begins here for some of these drivers. They come near an end for others who are hoping to make the championship rounds, but it's going to be tight here at the end. Welcome to New Hampshire Motor Speedway. This is going to be a fun race, if I do say so myself. My name is Dawson Allen. Joining the booth with me today, of course, member of JCTV, Adam Kuhn, as well as a special guest here coming in, Ben Smith. Guys, welcome to the booth.
Evening, Dawson. Excited to be here at Loudon tonight for this Juggernaut Truck Series Motor PC race at Loudon. Like I mentioned, should be an exciting show. I love this racetrack for these trucks. Should be battle against the handling and the tire wear, of course.
And thank you for having me, Dawson. I had a lot of fun calling the race with you and Josh and Adam at Mid-Ohio. Glad to be back for a second week. And I originally grew up in Vermont, so New Hampshire is my home track, so I'm very excited for this.
Alrighty, so a bit of a later start. Couple issues, some storm cells in the area. We had a lightning hold, something like that, to make an excuse here. But we're back. We're ready to race. It's going to be a fun one here, of course. New Hampshire Motor Speedway is a very, very fun track. It's a very flat track. It's called the Magic Mile for a reason. Puts on some great racing. There's a very big variance in the ability to pass at this track. You can pass up top. You can pass down low. It is so fun to race. And as you see the battle there, see Rich Petrucco passing the 57 of Cam Stone. It's going to be fun to watch him battle that truck all race long here. Ben, what do you think? Your experience, you grew up around this track, so you know this track kind of by heart almost. So what's your thoughts on this track and how it's going to run tonight?
So the big thing about New Hampshire that I've always loved about it is, depending on how your truck behaves and your driving style, this can be a multi-groove racetrack. You have guys who will come in and hook on the bottom on that yellow line there and are able to find grip down there. Other guys will take the high line and get the drive off. And then you have a third style where some guys will come in low and then kind of diamond the corner and come down and get a really deep exit underneath somebody from the high line. And we're going to see some really great racing today. I'm excited for this.
Absolutely, Ben. I agree. It's going to be a pretty exciting show, like I mentioned at the top. We're only going to see a limited practice session here tonight, but I don't think that's really going to matter. Most of these guys have been trying to dialing in those setups all week, and it should be exciting, though, once they finally get used to it, once they get the tire wear in, and once we get through that opening stage. We see a huge crash right there, and then another one for Kyle Ruda here in turn 2.
Yeah, it looks like some guys are trying to do some last-minute tinkering with the setups, but they're also trying to kind of figure out where the limit is on how much speed and turn they can put into their trucks. Because I'm sure, like, as you were saying, Adam, these guys have been practicing all the last few days this week, running New Hampshire in C-Fix or C-Open, tinkering with setups and track feel, and it's just a matter of getting down to those fine-tuned wedge adjustments before we get started here.
And you'll see up at the top of your screen, that is the current cutoff battle for the playoffs. So you'll see the 15 truck, that is Carl Felver. I do not see him so far entered into the session. He may not be racing tonight, but he's got such a big gap. He doesn't really have to worry about tonight. More so, he can worry about Pocono and try to put his focus there. Dalton Kelly is only 82 to the good, but a good race today could lock him in on points. He is currently 7th fastest right now on the leaderboards. Actually, I lied. I'm sorry. Carl Felver is 2nd on the leaderboard. I don't know what I'm thinking. But Felver is 2nd on the leaderboard, so really fast. All he's got to do pretty much is start this race, and he will lock into the playoffs on points. Dalton Kelly, as was mentioned, he is 82 to the good. A good race today can lock him in as well. The magic number for him, he's got to be 61 points over to lock himself in. He's got to be 61 over the cut line, and he will officially lock into the playoffs, I believe. That is going to be his number to hit. Then you see the 42 of Nolan Hodgson. He is 64 to the good, currently 3rd fastest on track. We'll have to watch and see how he does. He's a little bit on the bubble, but the one that's especially on it, that's 69, Dale Lucas Jr. He is currently 32 points to the good, but he is the last truck in, so if we do get a new winner tonight, he's going to get the boot and drop below that cutoff line, so it'll be interesting to keep an eye on him, and of course, besides that, if he has a bad points day, Kyle Reuter will have the chance to gain. Currently 4th fastest in the leaderboard right now, so we'll be watching him as well. And then everybody else behind them, they're going to need a win at this point. You see the 20 of Jeffrey Armistead, the 86 of Brian Haynes, and the 47 of Brett Bennett. They are all right within each other, so they're going to have to really, just pretty much battle each other for points and hope something works out to get them in. But looking at practice speeds right now, it looks like that 27 truck Richard Trucco is a bad fast machine, don't you think?
Absolutely. He's running about a full 10th faster than Felver and Hodgson so far, and Reuter, and then after that it just drops off a little bit. As we say that, Hall gets within 7 thousandths of his time, but it looks like Petrucco has his truck well dialed in. He's getting a nice little diamond on the corner there, entering low, going up about mid lane, and then exiting off. And I'm not seeing a whole lot of wiggle out of that truck. Are you, Adam?
He had a moment off of 4 last time by, but other than that, it's been a pretty comfortable looking ride through these corners around New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Of course, much smoother there through this corner. He was pretty low also last time by, so maybe that could have been the reason for losing the handling of the truck last lap, but like you mentioned, Ben, very clean this time by.
Yeah, watching him, he's going to be one to watch for sure, looking for a win. And I think everybody on that cut line is definitely hoping for a repeat winner. They do not need somebody below that cut line, to win it, or they want to be the one that's the new winner if they get a new winner here.
It's also
For you, Dawson, yeah.
It's also worth noting, Dawson, there's another wild card in play today. There's a new member of SBLD debuting today.
That indeed it is, the driver of the number 41 truck. That is Michael Kruger. If you have watched JCTV as well as you see Brian Smith. Brian C. Smith drove him into the wall there. But if you've been around JCTV and you've watched the In the Pits News Truck Series that runs Saturday nights, you'll know him quite well. He is a couple-time winner here in the Pits News Truck Series. Has been battling for the points lead with Alonso Chicano, who makes his return here tonight as well to the league. Good to see the 25 truck back on the racetrack. So we'll see those two out here, of course, as they battle for the In the Pits News Truck Series championship. They'll also come over here to the Juggernaut Truck Series and try to compete for a race win.
Absolutely. Alonso locked into the championship here in the Loudon PC Truck Series, but back in the league after a couple weeks off, like you mentioned, Dawson. And it is a recognizable face for Michael Kruger, recognizable name on JCTV, but a brand new truck for him. Different paint scheme running 41 because, of course, his number, of course, taken. But it's going to be getting used to calling him in the 41 tonight. But it's great to see him out here, of course, in his debut, like you guys mentioned.
And so watching him,
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does here today. I've gotten to know him a little bit over with a bit hanging out with the SBLD crew. Great guy. I'm happy to have him here in the league, and curious to see how many more times we'll see him this year, and if he can get some good runs string together.
Yeah, he's no stranger to the front of the field in the Pits News Truck Series, but of course, big difference here is an open setup league, so definitely going to be a major difference here for this race. See how the setup handles for him, see how he'll be able to handle the track. I'm very excited to watch him here as well, but you see the speed coming from, it looks like that same group of guys, Petrucco, Hall, Felver. No surprise there, those guys up the top of the leaderboard. Whatever they're running is bad fast, so it'll be key to watch that group there.
We haven't seen a whole lot of guys the last few laps as we're coming down into the final 6.5 minutes of this practice session. Not a lot of guys moving up or down the ladder. Ladder. Like you said, that top 5 seems pretty locked in right now in terms of speed.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see, of course, practice can't always dictate the race because, you can go out and qualify by yourself, wind up hitting the wall, starting out back, and then you can wind up in a lap 1 incident. That's the key to success of this track, is to take it easy those first couple laps. It's going to be slippery, and you're going to want to be very, very careful to not find yourself hitting the wall and on pit road for the start of the race.
thing we're gonna mention very early in the race is gonna be the stage points. Talking about the championship picture for the playoff chase just earlier, Dawson. 20 points at stake in the stages could be very, very, very helpful for Kyle Ruda if he's able to capitalize on his practice speed in the race.
And while it'll matter for Ruder, it'll also be big for the guys ahead of him too. Because not only would Ruder want to gain, they'd want to put a gap. They want to be able to get ahead and stay ahead. And especially the battling within themselves for if we do have a winner outside of the top 10 in points, or the top 12 in points, you're going to want those points on the other guy so you can try to stay ahead of him and make the playoffs. So there's going to be a big fight going on here between some of those guys. They're going to fight each other tooth and nail because we've only got 2 races to go till we get to the playoffs.
And we've seen with some of these races before at other tracks that there's a tendency back down in the teens. There tends to be chaos back there. And that's where a lot of the cautions start from. So if you're further up towards the front, that's where you want to be. And another thing that's big with New Hampshire, track position is going to be key. Taking care of your tires and keeping up with the handling as the track evolves during the course of the race.
Absolutely. And going back to qualifying, like you guys mentioned, the field's really tight, so it's only really a tenth and a half between Ruder and Dale Lucas in the 69, so it's who wins in 11th place right now in practice. So it's going to be very, very crucial not to make a mistake in qualifying like that, as we see Michael Kruger go around and almost back into people. Yeah.
How nobody hit him there is a miracle. Something else I just noticed too, gentlemen, is some of those guys towards the back of the pack have found a little more speed. What was before, Smith was down 0.6 of a second to Petrucco. Now he's only down to about half a second.
Yeah, as this track gets some rubber and some heat into it, it's definitely going to build up, and it's definitely going to be a lot faster. And you're going to see some of these guys pick up speed where others aren't really going to get that much. You're going to see some of these guys picking up speed, picking up the pace, and moving on up through that leaderboard here, especially in practice. But I'll be interested to see how the qualifying goes for some of these drivers, you know. Who's going to hit the nail on the head on the setup, and who's going to fall flat. That'll be the thing to watch.
So we're watching some of the trucks here. I believe that's getting a good scheme here. It looks like with the 56 there, looks like the 56 really likes that high line, but then exiting on the bottom, Mason Lowry, and Hodgson kind of takes a more middle line. Oh, we have one truck almost loses it back there. Looks like they're satisfied with their lap there. But it is interesting to see, as we were talking about earlier in the broadcast, all these different choices in line some of these guys are taking.
And that'll only grow as the race goes on. You'll see it happen. You know, these guys are not going to stick to one line. They're going to bounce around and see what gets the most speed, what has the most grip, and they're going to play, you know, top, bottom, middle, left, right. They're going to do everything they can to get as much speed as they can out of the truck. And it's going to be very interesting to watch to see who is able to pick up. As you see Brian C. Smith, he has jumped up to 12th now on the leaderboard. So he's definitely been making moves as these laps have gone on and the track's gotten a little more grip into it.
Here we have a look at Brett Bennett. Let's see what line he runs. Looks like he's going to come in first on the high line. Let's see if he stays up there or if he arcs it down. And it appears he is going to stay on the high line for that drive off in 3 and 4. Now he's on the clock here. I want to see what kind of lap he puts in here. Still staying on that high line there, right up against the upper part of the groove. The darker area and the upper half of the turn, that's basically you're in the marbles up there. That's no man's land. He's going to turn it down here into 3 and 4. Gets a little way high, actually. Up near the darker area of the track. Still staying high. Gets the drive off. Let's see how his speed looks here. He's not going to gain anything on that lap.
This is going to be his last chance to gain. Anybody who's out on track right now, this is their last lap they're going to get to turn. So we'll see if that 47 can pick up some more speed. Currently 16th. Coming into this race, he was talking highly about it, saying this was going to be a race for him to try to contend. And right now, it's not looking that way. 16th of 18 trucks that have put down a lap time. That time by Bennett runs 30.614. Slower than his fastest lap time. So as the clock winds down, time has expired on practice. Rich Petrucco, fastest in the session. Dustin Hall, second. Carl Felver, third. Nolan Hodgson, fourth. And Kyle Reuter, fifth. So some of those guys that need those good runs, well, they're going to have a good shot. They look to be good so far, especially with that fast lap time that some of them set.
BLD is still looking for their first win on the season, and a lot of them are mired back there in practice. Dalton Kelly was notably in the top 10, and Mikey Kruger actually had a nice pickup in the last 2 minutes there and managed to break into the top 10 on practice speed.
So here's Brett Bennett going out to make his qualifying attempt, as we talked about.
He's still sticking with that high line there. I think he's favoring, regardless of where he qualifies, I think he's favoring the drive off on the corner exit during the race itself. Real high entry there. He looks like he's going to arc it down a little bit into about the mid lane. Let's see if that gains him some time there.
It's possible a lot of these guys also will set a faster lap due to having the track all on themselves. Should be able to focus and hone in and set a good lap. Looking like a lot of other guys out right now. Brian C. Smith, Andrew Schartner, Dustin Hall, Michael Kruger, Kyle Reuter, Rich Trucco, Cameron Stone, Oscar Enriquez, Nick Stein, Alonso Chicano, and Jeffrey Armistead are out there. As you see the laps starting to file in. So far, Richard Trucco holding the P1 spot, a 30.057 lap time. For your pole sitter, it looks like Brett Bennett goes to number 3 on the leaderboard with a 30.629. So way off pace of pole sitter Rich Petrucco there.
Yeah, the guys who have taken time so far, they are almost half a second or more in some cases over Rich Petrucco. But Adam, as we were both talking about earlier, that 27 truck seems pretty well dialed in.
Absolutely. Still 4/10 clear of the field. Now 3/10 just as Alonso Chicano puts up a P2 lap time.
Watching the one truck here, Dustin Hall.
He's just taking the clock. He's going to run the midline on this and come up. Let's see what he runs in 3 and 4. Some guys will elect to run the same line both turns, and other guys will elect to run different lines. Looks like he's going to take the midline here as well.
Dalton Kelly with a very slow lap time of 31.5. Way off the pace. And for Dustin Hall, it's going to be a 30.188, just barely off of Rich Petrucco.
That was a solid lap by Hall.
So looking to see what Dalton Kelly's got going here on his second lap.
Uncharacteristically slow lap earlier for Dalton.
And we'll see what he gets the second time at the line this time. It's going to be a 30.4, a much better improvement. Puts him 7th on the board now. As it looks like we just got a couple more guys to turn some laps. Carl Felver out on the racetrack, turning his qualifying laps.
Oh, Carl gets a little loose there on exit of 2. Let's see if he can gather it back up in 3 and 4. He's going to send it in about up in the upper line. Brings it down into the midline on exit. Let's see what kind of time we get here for him.
30.3.
It was actually a decent lap for Felver. Good pickup for Felver.
On a lap 2, can he get faster?
It was a really great qualifier, and this track kind of falls into his wheelhouse, I feel like, Dawson.
Yeah, I've known Carl will be a very good racer when it comes to any kind of like smaller, shorter track, any kind of throttle control kind of racing. That's Felver's specialty. He is very, very good. And so not surprised to see him up near the top. A third place qualifying attempt for the driver of the 15. That leaves 2 drivers left. It looks like maybe 3 drivers left, but it looks like we're down to just 2. Jeffrey Armistead, Dale Lucas Jr. yet to turn a lap time. Mason Lowry as well, but it looks like they are all not out on track trying to make an attempt. There's Joe Gwilt Jr. It looks like he's just turning some extra practice laps just to get things going. And here comes the 20 and the 69. Looks like they are the last 2 that will make an attempt to qualify, as Mason Lowry has not gotten back into the vehicle. I think he is going to call it a quits for this qualifying session. And you see Dale Lucas Jr., 3rd fastest there.
Good
Great
lap for Lucas.
second lap. Big especially for him in the point situation. He needs a good run today. As we'll see Jeffrey Armistead, he needs a win. That time by, looks like that's just his warm-up lap. Or maybe not. It looks like it might have been... Yeah, that was his warm-up lap.
I think he's on the clock now.
But losing it off of turn 2, and he's out of time.
Yeah, that's going to kill him.
And Jeffrey Armistead is going to start 18th, the tail end of the field. So, qualifying is a wrap. How about we take a look at your starting grid presented by Mardon PCs. Starting in row 1, it's the 27 of Rich Petrucco and the number 1 of Dustin Hall. Then in row 2, it's Dale Lucas Jr. and the 69 truck, and then it's the 15 truck of Carl Felver.
And then in row 3, we have the 25 of Alonso Chicano, and then the 57 of Cameron Stone. And in row 4, we have Stein in the Nick Stein in the 82, and then we have the 41 of Mikey Kruger making his debut today. Good qualifying effort for him. Awesome.
Back there in row number 5, it's the 9 of Kyle Reuter and the 45 of Dalton Kelly. 2 of the trucks involved in that point battle. And then you go back here. In row 6, you find the 42 of Nolan Hodgson and the 18 of Andrew Shartner.
And then in row 7, we have the 47 of Brett Bennett, another guy who needs to win and get in. And then we have Joe Gwilt in the 37 on the outside. Following that, in row 8, we have Oscar Enriquez in the 66 with Brian Smith in the outside in the 54. And then rounding out the field, 2 guys who could not fail to take a qualifying lap are Lowry in the 56 and Jeffrey Armistead in the 20, starting shotgun on the field.
So Rich Petrucco, fastest lap in qualifying here. Of course, abbreviated practice. Qualifying still the same. We'll have to see how everything works out here. But to his outside there, another strong driver, the 1 of Dustin Hall. So looking at the field and looking to see, guys, who are we picking to win this race?
I'm actually going to take a dark horse pick in this one. I'm going to go with the 69 of Dale Lucas. I liked that qualifying run he had. I'm wondering if he was playing a little gamesmanship during practice and holding back a little bit. He's somebody who's got a lot at stake in this race, and with that, I think he's somebody to watch today. I think he's AFK at the moment. He tagged you in chat.
It looks like Adam is currently away. So with Adam away right now, I will take his pick, and I will say that he wants the driver of the number 47, Brett Bennett, is his pick to win. Adam Kuhn believes he is going to be a great race car driver, and he is going to win this race. So that's Adam's pick. My pick, I won't get to tell you. I think it's going to be the 1 of Dustin Hall. I think that's going to be the guy in victory lane here today. But coming through 3 and 4, the green flag flies. We are underway here at New Hampshire.
Good launch for Rich Petrucco there. He's going to dive into the inside and stay ahead of Lucas. Looks like he's going to come up a little bit on the high side to block the momentum of Hall and get the drive off onto the backstretch. Let's see if these guys can run it clean for a lap. Clean so far down the backstretch. as they dive it into turn number 3. Petrucco getting in about a 3 truck length lead now on the field. It's still a little bit of a mess back here in the pack, and looks like we're going to be clean through lap 1.
Hodgson just about pushed up into the driver, the number 45, Dalton Kelly. That was a close one there. Able to keep it clean, though. Did not push up. Tried to make the pass, and you see back there a bit of a stack up. That one truck starting to fall a little bit. Already
Entry by Lucas earlier.
Already an 0 for 2 for me and picks, and you see a hit to the back of the 57. Cameron Stone is sent up the track. I believe that was a 41 of Michael Kruger who got in the back of him. Cameron Stone dropping as well after the one truck was slowing him down there.
Yeah, it looks like the one truck of Hall is having a little bit of handling problems right now. Looks like Lucas is able to keep pace with Petrucco fine, but then after that you have a drop off to Felver a little bit, and then Chicano. And that 69 is dialed in a little bit. I was looking earlier. He's having a great entry into the turn. He's able to drive it right there, a little deeper than Petrucco is.
You see the field still kind of tight back there around the 57 of Cameron Stone, who is cleared for 6th. Kyle Reuter has made the pass on Nolan Hodgson so far. That is for the 8th position. An ever so important position that Reuter's going to need, as he's going to battle this 42 aggressively early on in the early goings of this race, going for those stage points. He does not want to drop out of that top 10.
Hodgson was able to get a good exit there on 2, and I'm wondering if he brings it in here, how he's going to do on the bottom line. Looks like he's going to dive it in there. The 9 is still going to have some momentum up top. Can't quite get it taken away. Looks like someone got out of shape in the back there.
Maybe the 45 of Dalton Kelly losing another spot, battling with Andrew Shortner now in the 18. We talked about Dalton Kelly needing a pretty good run in this race. As we take a look at the points here, you see they're very close to that cut line, so it's going to be an issue for these drivers. There's the cut line we were looking for. As Dalton Kelly's going to need a good run here to try to stay ahead and try to lock into the playoffs race early.
Now as things start to settle in a little bit here, it looks like Petrucco is going to start to extend his lead over Lucas just a little bit. He has about a 4 truck length lead. Big thing right now for these guys is settling in. You got 175 laps, and we got a while until the stage break. Everybody's going to be trying to move around, see where their truck behaves best, and then make adjustments accordingly to make it better when we get to the stage break.
And, I see the 15 of Carl Felver. He's now in the rearview mirror of Dale Lucas Jr., trying to catch up to him. He's hunting him down a little bit. That 15 is going to try to make a move with the 69 here as these laps continue to tick away.
Battling towards the further back of the pack, but yeah, Felver seems to be closing the gap again on Lucas. He's a little faster on exit than Lucas is, while Lucas has better on entry. And if you're Rich Petrucco, you're loving this in your rearview mirror, seeing these guys battle for second place while you're running away in clean air.
Oh, most definitely. You want to see those two fighting for position, and you want them to get side by side even. Try to see if they'll push each other up the track, because you'll be able to run away with it from there and just try to keep pace and keep that lead out. So it'll be definitely, Petrucco is not really mirror driving, but more so just kind of peeking back every couple seconds to see, how's it look back there.
And Felver took a quick look underneath Lucas there. Looks like he got a little loose, and he's going to lose some ground now to Lucas, who has about a 3 truck length gap over him. That's going to cost them, and that's one of those things you're talking about for Petrucco looking for. And then behind Felver, it's a pretty significant gap over a second back to Chicano. It's a mess back here. It looks like there's a bit of a battle in the back there. I can't quite tell who it is.
It's the 45 of Dalton Kelly, a little bit out of shape, got down to the bottom. Now finds himself in the 14th position, so on the move back here for this number 45 in the early goings of this race. You see he started up in 10th. He's just been mired back in the back here, not been able to make any moves up to the front, just mainly dropping back. So we'll see what this 45 can try to do as this race goes on, see what he can try to work on, maybe get that truck out front.
Yeah, that 45 looks like he's been loose on exit a lot, especially in 2. And so he's probably next, when we get us to stage break and able to get a pit stop, he's going to definitely take a wedge adjustment on that truck. He's having trouble trying to keep it down. As you see, he gets a little out of shape there again on exit of 4.
Dustin Hall is kind of stabilized back in the 7th position. Just an early going, didn't get a good jump on the start of the race. After that, he slid back. You see the 18 of Andrew Schartner, all sorts of sideways as well. Dalton Kelly's going to his inside. That is the battle ongoing for 13th between these two.
Yeah, some of these trucks back here are behaving pretty evil. Good on them, though, for keeping these trucks under control, keeping things stabilized. A lot of these guys have a lot on the line from a points perspective. So it's like you don't want to blow your opportunity now in stage 1 and wreck the truck. Take care of it, keep it in one piece, try and stay on the lead lap, and then make some adjustments when we get to the stage break.
Yeah, and that stage 1 ends at lap 55, so still a good ways away. So for some of these guys that are having trucks that are driving evil right now, it's not really the best thing to think that they've still got just over 40 laps to go to the stage break.
Kelly's going to get a good look under Schartner there, and I think he may prevail and take the position, and he will. That moves him up to 13th. Rich Petrucco, meanwhile, he's extended his lead to almost a second.
Kelly slides it!
Easy, save it. And he does. That was a hell of a save by Dalton Kelly. He's going to lose a lot of positions from it. He got evil loose on that exit there, didn't he, Dawson?
Yeah, he was just about turned sideways there. Able to keep it straight and going there, but losing 3 spots now drops him back to the 16th position. So not the run that Dalton Kelly was looking for today, but he can afford a bad race is the thing. He doesn't have to run up front. He can afford a bad race and still be fine here, but you see ahead, Brian C. Smith, that's Mason Lowry, they're battling here. I think the 56 is kind of holding up the 54, and he just wants to go, but he's trying not to get in the back bumper of him. You see him make a move to that inside, and you see up ahead, too, it looks like a battle is heating up for the 7th position. That is Cameron Stone and Nolan Hodgson. They are battling now, and this will be big for Hodgson. He needs the points, so he's going to have to keep trying to push forward as Kyle Reuter is right on his back bumper, who also needs the points.
Yeah, Hodgson getting a good side draft down the straightaway there off of Stone to keep him in contact. He got a good grip on the bottom there, and that's going to keep him alongside. Let's see if he can complete the pass in 3 and 4. He's going to dive it way in there on 3 and 4. He looks like he's going to triumph here and able to get the big bull block here, but here's the crossover by Stone.
Cameron Stone does not want to give this spot up yet. He is still fighting for the position with the 42 Nolan Hodgson, but now on the outside lane, that 42 might be able to pull away, and it looks like he will. Now the 9 of Kyle Reuter will come to battle with the 57 of Cameron Stone.
You go from bad to worse for Cameron Stone, lose 2 spots, and he will. Reuter was able to take advantage of him losing some momentum from being slightly loose on that exit earlier, and he's going to prevail and take the position, and now he's got Hodgson in his sights.
Yeah, and talking about that 57 of Cameron Stone, remember last week, he was running up front there in that race. You see the 42 and the 9 getting ever so closer now as they battle here for this 7th position. Cameron Stone was running top 3. He had a really good run going for him. Then come to the stage 3 break, come to the stage 2 break, coming to the start of stage 3, contact with the 82 and Nick Stein sent him in for the rest of the day. He was able to recover and finish 5th, but he was not happy with the driver of the 82, so that 57 may carry some feelings with him into the playoffs here, just to see what happens. Looking ahead, though, speaking of Nick Stein, he is now under pressure from the 1 truck. Dustin Hall looks like he's got that thing figured out, and he's starting to try to make moves at the front of the field.
Yeah, it looks like Hall is his truck is finally starting to come in on that high line. He had fallen as far back as 7th earlier, now he's regained 2 spots. I'm wondering if Hall has more of a long run truck, or if he was kind of holding back a little bit there to conserve the tires a little bit, because at New Hampshire, you're going to slide around a lot on this flat track, and that's going to really affect the tire wear. I'm curious to see who's going to manage the tires the best. Adam, on your end, who stands out to you?
Really interesting watching Dalton Kelly there fight towards the back of the pack there early on in these opening laps, but I'm intrigued to watch Dustin Hall now that he's up to 5th. He's got cleanish air on his truck, big gap up to 4th place of Alonso Chicano, and curious to see if he's going to be able to close that gap up to that 25 truck and bring the line of trucks with him, or just drive away from them completely. Got a long way to the end of the stage like you guys have mentioned, and if we get this long green flag run going, see where this one truck ends up in the long run.
Boy, you want to talk about sideways. That 82 coming off of turn 2 was cranking that wheel over and over to try to make sure he could hold it straight. An impressive save there from the 82 of Nick Stein. But you see Dustin Hall pulling away, and that's the thing we've seen with these guys, these Team Conti guys, both Dustin Hall and Adam Benefield, who's not here with us tonight. They are very much long-run trucks. And you see the 82 sideways again! Oh, able to save it, keep it straight, but yet again, another truck going sideways and losing spots. Now the 9 of Kyle Reuter to his outside. And now move Nick Stein to the 8th position.
Well, and you and I were talking about pre-race, Dawson. There's a little drama surrounding that 82 from an incident points perspective. That 82 is doing anything he can to not cause an incident, because that could have deep ramifications for him for his season. And I think he needs a change of shorts. And he gets out of shape here again. That truck is evil right now as the tire wear is going
Another
off.
truck having issues in the back. It looked like the 18 of Andrew Shorter just got the wall on the exit of 2 as well. He's dropped to 15th, so a lot of trucks starting to have handling issues here, and we're only 22 laps in. We've still got 33 laps till the stage break, so definitely some concern here from some of these guys who are already fighting loose from these trucks here as they come off the exit of turn 2. It's definitely going to be a battle. We'll see the 82 this time, able to almost keep it corralled straight. But, talking about that one truck again, Dustin Hall, as we were mentioning before, that 82 started getting sideways. These Team Conti guys, him and Benefield, they've both been long-run trucks. They have both been guys that have been able to, save their tires, save their stuff, and then when the time was go time, they would just put the pedal to the metal and just knock them down and just, run through the field. And so we're seeing that right now. That one truck at Dustin Hall, he is only just about 2 seconds back of Alonso Chicano, almost 2.5. As Stein is sideways again. But the one truck is definitely going to be one to watch here in the later stages of this race. He has definitely got a wicked fast truck.
Yeah, if he can make some slight adjustments to help the early run and keep contact with some of those guys further up in the top 5 off of some of the restarts from some stage breaks, he could be a real threat that could be a spoiler for those guys in this race.
That's a big guy from Michael Kruger on the inside of
Spinning! Saving it again!
Oh my goodness!
Wow, Nick Stein's driving like it's middle higher still.
Dawson, have you ever?
I cannot say that I have ever. This 82 truck should be on a hauler right now, but somehow, some way, still trucking on. Finds himself now 11th. As you see, who else is cracking the top 10 now? Brett Bennett is now 10th. Michael Kruger up to 9th. Cameron Stone up to 8th.
Yeah, it looks like a couple guys back here, like Bennett, have been kind of conserving their equipment, conserving their tires. Man, he gets loose again. That's like the 5th time. As I was saying, Bennett was kind of seems like he's just riding that high line, not really sliding the tires a lot, taking care of the throttle. Dalton Kelly now going by. We know Kelly hasn't been taking care of the tires. He's been dealing with a lot of loose condition even in the early run. But it seems to be coming to him a little bit. That 82, though, he's in trouble.
It's about how much more time can this 82 hold it straight before he finally just snaps loose and can't keep it straight.
He got loose in the middle of the turn back there in 1 and 2. He seems to be fine through 3 and 4, though.
Out front, though, it's still the 27 of Rich Petrucco. Now holds about a 1.5 lead over that 69 of Dale Lucas Jr. Alonso Chicano has taken the 3rd spot away from Carl Felver throughout all this as well. So something to mention. A 25 truck, he's starting to crawl back up to the front here. It'll be interesting to see if he can get up to it.
Yeah, the late run has seemed to come in for that 25 of Chicano, much like Hall. Looks like he's running a tenth and a half faster than Lucas, and is starting to creep up to him. I'm curious to see if he can give him a run for his money for 2nd. The gap has kind of stabilized between Lucas and Petrucco. He's losing time to Petrucco, but he's not losing a ton of time per lap.
The truck has been keeping the fastest laps so far throughout the race. Has been at 25. He has set the fastest laps the past couple laps. So definitely interesting to see what Alonso Chicano can try to do to go for 2nd and possibly even the race lead.
Yeah, that 25 seems to run the as we were talking about different styles through the turns, it looks like he seems to favor diamonding the corner, and that line seems to be working really well for him. He's really closing in here on Lucas. He's going to be up to his bumper within probably the next 2 or 3 laps.
Yeah, so Alonso is continuing to run the fastest laps of the race so far. He is the fastest truck on track right now compared to the leaders and the rest of the field. The fastest laps have been that 25 truck, so definitely interesting to watch and see, just how he's going to be able to navigate by that 69 truck and then maybe see if he can catch that 27. But it'll be dependent on how the rest of this stage goes. As you see that time by yet again faster for the 25 as he now catches up to the back bumper, the 69 truck. That is Dale Lucas Jr. We mentioned he needs a good run today. Second place so far in the stage is going to be a big points pickup. It's going to be huge for him and his chances of trying to stay in this playoff picture. With Nolan Hodgson running 6th, though, it's kind of stabling out. It's kind of evening out, though.
Yeah, it is kind of evening out, and then Ruder's in 9th. So Ruder would still be losing out to these guys points-wise. Ruder would basically need a mistake from either Lucas or Hodgson in order for him to really dent that cutoff that we see on top of that cutoff graphic we see on top.
Yeah, Lucas running such a consistent race so far in the early going. If he continues to run up here and obviously score these stage points, obviously a long way to go in the long scheme of the race, but like you guys mentioned, it's going to hurt Ruder in the long run in the point swing with just one race to go after this weekend.
And it's still going to be big, too, for Lucas. I mean, he's not going to be in the clear after today. He can pass that 42 on points tonight if he gets enough points and he picks up enough. But it's going to be big as we see the 82 of Nick Stein is spun and hit the wall. Big damage to the 82. Looks like, well, that damage you already have. It looks like this one was coming out of 4. Spinning it there. Another impressive save. And, the avoidance by Joe Gwilt and Mason Lowry, who are back there in the field. That 82 is just...
I'd be curious to see a replay on when he finally lost it. But yeah, that 82... You gotta give him some credit. He's been hanging on to that thing for dear life. It's clearly not set up very well, so he's gonna have to do some wholesale adjustments to it, as well as some repairs when he gets to the next pit stop. And looking at the times here, depending on what the interval there, he's 23 seconds back of Petrucco. Petrucco could catch some of these guys in the back here before we hit the stage break potentially.
Oh, he'll definitely catch the 82 Nick Stein. There he is up there entering turn 4. But you see back there the battle for second heating up. Alonso Chicano all over the back bumper of Dale Lucas Jr. Coming into turns 3 and 4. It'll be 19 laps to go to the end of the stage. And you know that 69 is hoping that would be the next lap instead. Because he really needs these points. He cannot afford to lose this position to Alonso Chicano.
With a huge run off the 4th corner. He's going to peek to the inside into turn 1. 25 on the inside into turn 1 and 2. He's got the nose in there, but Lucas is going to try and prevail on the outside lane.
Yeah, Lucas is good at... they both get loose there, but Lucas, I was saying, he's kind of holding that high line because he knows Chicano diamonds the corner for his driving style. When he denies that high line a little bit from there, but it looks like Chicano's going to enter lower and really come up towards Lucas to get that diamond. He's going to get right in front of him, just barely clears him, but Chicano... Lucas was kind of taking the high line away, so Chicano made a good tactical move and went even lower into the turn to get that diamond that he likes to do. Now let's see if he has anything to chase down Petrucco with, and we'll see if Petrucco, as he closes up on Stein, if that's going to be hazardous for him, because we know Stein can't hold that truck straight right now.
Yeah, that 25 now is going to look to hunt down our race leader, Rich Petrucco. And that 82 of Nick Stein could come in handy for him if that 82 is in front of this 27 truck. And for any reason, if anything happens, that's going to be a big hand to Alonso Chicano to try to catch him. He's running faster laps. He is a faster truck than this 27 truck right now. So we'll have to see. It's about a 0.3 of a second faster lap that time for the 25 of Alonso Chicano. So we'll have to see what he can do as the run comes on. You know, we've got about 16 laps to the stage, so he's still got time, but it's not going to go any slower for him.
Yeah, Chicano's got the benefit now because of that gap. He's got a little bit of clean air in front of him before he starts to catch Petrucco's dirty air. And I'm curious to see, now that he has clean air, how he runs. Before he ran up on Lucas, you're right, he was starting to gain time on Petrucco.
Still is gaining time.
That 25 is well dialed in right now.
Yeah, he is on a mission now to try to catch. See, a little bit further back, it looks like Dalton Kelly has made a pass on Cameron Stone, or at least is working on it, with Michael Kruger in tow as well, as they are battling. That is 8th, 9th, and 10th, the final 3 spots for stage points here. As the laps wind down, looks like Dalton Kelly's going to try to slide up in front and clear the 57 if he can, and it looks like he will. So Dalton Kelly moves up to P8. What a recovery he's having from those earlier issues.
It looks like just behind them, it looks like, I believe that's Brett Bennett, who got a little loose off of 2. But you're right, Dalton Kelly was fighting the handling a little bit in the early run. Probably the result of cold tires, and he's definitely got a long run truck. He was down as far back as 17th and managed to gather back up. Looks like Petrucco was going to lap Stein without much problem. But you're right. One thing you're right though about Dawson, Chicano's coming.
Yeah, he has closed the gap again still. You know, running out of time, but he is still kind of maintaining. So he's got it under 2 seconds now. He's definitely fighting. As it looks back, it looks like Dalton Kelly is making another pass. He's passing the night of Kyle Reuter. This is for the 7th position. And you see Michael Kruger battling with Cameron Stone. That's for 9th. Dalton Kelly has finally got something going there in that 45 machine. So definitely a good run starting to pick up here in this longer run here of the race. So able to fight the handling, able to get things straight. Ooh, Michael Kruger slides it down, keeps it straight. And that's just about been the story of this race, is that exit of turn 2, getting it sideways and trying to correct it and keep it straight without overcorrecting. So that's been the battle these drivers have been going through. But looking back up ahead, Alonso Chicano has passed the 82 Nick Stein. It looks like maybe Stein is sliding sideways ahead of the 15. He's going to keep it straight and not get into the way of traffic. Oh my goodness.
How? Like, that's my next question. How? Like, I'm surprised he hasn't blown a tire yet.
Well, he sent it there into turn 3 there that time, got really high up the track. Nolan Hodgson's going to be right on him here in a couple laps if he doesn't lose it again.
Probably going to need to change his shorts, change a fire suit, and I'm pretty sure he saw Jesus out there.
It's like that car is running on banana peels. He is just sliding all over the place. And you see Michael Kruger slide there as well, yet again. And it looks like this time the 82 is going to finally pull down to the apron. He might be heading for pit road here and might be either just getting some new tires, getting some damage fixed, or he might just even be calling it a race. He's ran enough laps, he thinks. At the same time, you know, he's got plenty of race to go to just kind of get back out, run a few more laps. You know, he's got to win. He's locked into the playoffs, so you figure instead of having an incident, you know, wiping somebody else out, possibly having issues, just pull down pit road and let it be. So Rich Petrucco leading 10 laps to go, make it 9 laps to go this time by for the stage. Alonso Chicano's kind of stagnated. He's not gaining, he's not losing really.
No, but something that's going to come into a factor here is he's coming up on some lap traffic here who may not be the best handling trucks, but they're not as evil as Nick Stein. So some of these trucks coming up could give Rich Petrucco a little bit of trouble to cause Chicano to close up. And as he's getting into the dirty air that Lowry's putting back, the gap is now suddenly changing again. Chicano's closing again.
Chicano gained a second that lap almost, it looked like. Just from the timing, gained about a 10th there. It's just been bouncing back and forth here, so I'm just trying to keep eyes out, seeing what he's going to be able to do. But there's that 25 truck. He is definitely trying to close the gap. You see the 56 is going to roll high, allow our race leader, the 27, Rich Petrucco, to go by. And the gap is still closing. Alonso Chicano is still right there.
Don't look now further back in the pack. Looks like Kelly has caught up to Hodgson for 6th.
And Dalton Kelly's right there in the battle, still going on between the 41 and the 57, and now the 9 as well. It's Kruger, Reuter, and Stone battling for the final spots here in the top 10. And of course the battle, Hodgson and Kelly heating up as well. Lots of battling going on throughout the track. They were 3 wide there. Michael Kruger sent it to the inside, and he got up to 8th. Reuter to 9th, Stone to 10th. And now Stone trying to cross over that number 9 truck. Here he comes to the inside into turns 3 and 4.
Oh, sorry, Adam. Go ahead.
Kruger had been stuck behind Cam Stone almost the entirety of this race, and he finally found a way to sneak by. It was a 3-wide pass on Reuter and Stone to make it happen, but Stone and Reuter, as you guys mentioned, still going at it.
And don't look now, Brett Bennett, Jeffrey Armistead, Brian C. Smith all up in the mix now too for this final playoff, this final stage point. Excuse me. It's going to be a tight battle between 5 trucks. Kyle Reuter gets a little loose. Here comes Brett Bennett to the inside.
And diving to the inside, we got to think some of these guys were taking care of their tires a little bit during the course of that run. Here comes Bennett all the way to the inside. Stone up ahead goes way high. And looks like, don't look now, Armistead following on Bennett's heels. Let's see if he can take advantage and potentially try and take 2 like Kruger did.
And don't look now as well, Dalton Kelly has made a move up to 6 now. I don't think he's going to be able to catch Dustin Hall, but he is up another position. And now the battle is between Reuter and Armistead. That's for 11th. Bennett holds the final spot in the stages, but we're coming just it's going to be 4 laps to go that time by. And that 27 is still out front to just about, issues! Andrew Shartner having issues ahead of the race leader. Not something you want to see in your windshield. You want to see that in your rearview mirror. But coming to 3 laps to go in the stage, another truck going a lap down is the 37 of Joe Gwilt.
And Chicano closed the gap now to 1.2 seconds. He's gained another 0.6 from when we last looked at this, down to 1.1 seconds now. And as we're talking about this, the battle's still on for that 10th spot. Armistead is still keeping up with Bennett.
Got
and
the
it's
wall
all
a little bit there.
over his back bumper.
Got the wall a little bit going for that position. Reuter has dropped back to 13th. That is not what he needed to have happen here, as he wants to try to get some more points to gain on that cut line with the 69 of Dale Lucas Jr. Bennett, Armistead, Stone, Smith, all throw the 4 of them under a blanket, battling for the final 2 spots for stage points. And looking up ahead, the battle for the race lead. Brian C. Smith's going to slide into Armistead. He's going to move on the track. The 54 is going to move to 11th. 2 laps to go in the stage. A second is the gap for the race lead. That's the 66, Oscar Enriquez. Going to try to fight to stay on the lead lap if he can. Should be the white flag this time by for the stage. Alonso Chicano, 0.8 of a second back. I don't know if he's going to have enough to catch him.
No, I don't think he's going to have enough to catch him either. He kind of stagnated there during about 3/4 of the way into this run, and that was enough for Rich Petrucco to kind of keep the gap good enough so that he had plenty of room to get through lap traffic without much of a threat. And he's going to come off here and have a nice little cushion. The battle still is going to be back towards 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Stage 1 winner, Rich Petrucco. Alonso Chicano 2nd. Dale Lucas Jr. is going to bring it home 3rd. Carl Felver 4th. Dustin Hall sits 5th right now as they cross the line. Dalton Kelly going to come home 6th. But we're going to go back to that battle. This is for 9th. Cameron Stone's going to hold it. Brett Bennett's going to hold on and take the 10th spot. And that's going to do it for the stage here at New Hampshire. What a good first run we had there.
Yeah, that was a good battle going on back there. Looks like a few of the guys from SBLD had good late run trucks there. Kelly, Kruger, Bennett, Smith, and Armistead were they were down towards like 15th, 16th, 17th earlier in this run. But now thanks to them doing a good job conserving their tires, they were able to make a late surge there, because this is definitely a long run track.
Absolutely right, and that completely caution-free opening stage made that super beneficial. We mentioned Dalton Kelly having a very, very strugglesome opening 20 laps. Somehow managed to get up to P6, even though he slid a lot those opening first corners. So very, very great stage for him.
And it's actually a miracle. I would like to say it's a miracle we didn't have a caution, because Stein was basically knocking on death's door with how evil his truck was out there. And then we also saw Shartner have some moments as well.
It's definitely been a tight, exciting race here. Stage 1 was a fun one, and I'm excited to see what the rest of this race brings for us. So we'll try to see if we can get a look on pit road here as we watch everybody pull to their pit stalls, make the stops, get the tires, get the fuel, see what they can do coming off of pit road. There's our Stage 1 winner, Rich Petrucco. The first stall, and it looks like he's going to be beaten off of pit road. Alonso Chicano gets it done. He jumps up into P1. Petrucco off second. Then it's Lucas, Felver, Hall, Kelly, Hodgson, and then Michael Kruger, Brett Bennett, and Oscar Enriquez, who looks like he should be the free pass. He'll drop back. That makes Brian C. Smith the man who is going to finish that out in the 10th position. Well, Ben, how about you call up our Stage 1 winner, Rich Petrucco, and see what he's got to say about that truck?
Yeah, let's pull him on down here and have a talk with him. Hey, Rich Petrucco, this is Ben Smith up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Ben, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Rich. You got yourself one hell of a race truck out there.
Yeah, it's not too bad. The EPI guys and me and Dustin put in a lot of work in the last couple days here, and certainly not perfect, but I think we can make a couple tweaks here and make a pretty solid run for the rest of the day.
It looks like, as far as a lot of the trucks out there, it looks like you and Alonso probably have the two best handling trucks out there. I didn't see any wiggles out of you during the course of the first stage there. Did it feel like from your end that things were handling pretty well with good tire conservation?
It's doing all right. I definitely pushed the tires pretty hard early in that run. I just wanted to see how much I could abuse it and get away with it. So just trying to make some measures for the rest of the race. But yeah, it's a little free in the long run, but nothing that's unmanageable. So we'll save some tires here in the second run and see how it feels at the end of this 55.
And it looks like Chicano was probably the one guy who was starting to close up a little bit on you there at the end of the stage, and now he's in front of you to start stage 2, beating you off pit road. What do you got for him?
We got some pretty quick speed here in the short run, but I'm not going to really. I'm going to play the tire save game here and not try and race him too hard for it. So we'll see where we end up.
All right, Rich, I'll put you back up with teammates. Congrats on the stage 1 win. Looking forward to seeing how you do here in stage 2.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And that was our Stage 1 winner, Rich Petrucco. So, Stage 1 in the books. Stage 2 getting ready to go underway. And of course, ever so exciting the battle was at the end there. Some of those trucks were able to make the long run work while the others were still struggling in the short run. So, definitely going to be exciting to see how this one plays out. Alonso Chicano, Rich Petrucco, your front row here as the pace car pulls down through 3 and 4, down into pit road, into the Geico restart zone. The green flag is back on the air. Stage 2 underway here at New Hampshire.
Launched by Chicano there to get going. He looks like he's going to be... He's known for his aggressive driving style, and he's going to send it there. And it looks like Lucas is going to try and get underneath Petrucco.
We heard Petrucco he wasn't going to try and race Chicano for the lead. He had to race Lucas for that second position, as you mentioned, Ben. Through the opening 2 corners, he sends it into turn 3, trying to secure that position, and he does. It's going to be 0.3 of a second behind the 25 as we see the 42 race door to door with Dalton Kelly down the front straightaway.
Battling hard for any position they can get in the early goings, because if you can stretch it out early, you might be able to hold off on the later run from some of these guys. Dalton Kelly now battling for 6th with Nolan Hodgson. He's to the outside lane. Hodgson trying on the inside, seeing if he can make something work to the inside of the 45.
And Hodgson trying to hang on with the 45 here.
And the 42, they made contact just a little bit. The 45 got up. Hodgson gets the position there. Sorry to cut you off, Ben, but there was a little bit of contact that pushed the 45 up the track.
It's quite all right. I was going to say, these are two guys right near that cutoff graphic you can see at the top of the screen. And so these guys have more reason than a lot of others to race hard against each other, because they want to make sure they have cushion over each other, so that they're not the one who's at risk of falling out. should we get a winner in the next 2 races before we hit the cutoff.
And the big thing was Kelly beat Hodgson that last stage, so that's a gap he's going to put between the 42 and the 45. So he definitely needed that, and now Hodgson's going to have to fight hard to try to stay ahead of him and try to make up that lost ground.
And it looks like Kelly's going to stay on the bottom here. As we've mentioned during the first stage, it took about 15 to 20 laps for Dalton Kelly's truck to come in. He doesn't really slide the tires around a lot. He tends to run a very, very conservative line and hold it steady. And now that the tires are warmed up, he's made some adjustments. Oh, he gets straight in front of him, and you're going to get the bumper there from Hodgson.
Caution is out. Andrew Schartner around over in turn 1. The first caution for cause of the day, and it's the 18 truck who's going to be the reason. Looks like he might have lost it into turn 1, and now we'll have another restart.
Yeah, be curious to see on the replay there what happened to Schartner there. He was having some handling problems, like Stein was.
We see him with his 18 truck. We see him racing Oscar Enriquez here. Got the wall almost. Came close very to it. They're off of 4, racing the 66 into turn 1, and indeed contact with Enriquez.
Yeah, he got some help there. That was not a situation of getting loose. He's not going to be happy about that. He got cleaned.
It's the 18 truck. Bad day goes to worst there after contact with the 66 of Oscar Enriquez. It was already a lap down. But now it's going to be a little bit worse for this 18 truck.
Enriquez, as you mentioned, last caution got the lucky dog, so he wasn't even on the same lap as Schartner there as they were racing.
It looks like Wilt will probably get the free pass on this caution. That'll just leave Lowry and Schartner as the only only trucks 1 lap down, and it looks like Hall is going to come in and take a pit stop. A little strategy here, Dawson.
Well, you see 2 guys on pit road here, the 1 of Dustin Hall, the 20 of Jeffrey Armistead. And something I've learned watching these Team Conti guys, they will work on adjustments all throughout the race. They are not content with how the setup is as it goes. So definitely probably making some changes in that setting up that car, or that truck, making any change they can to see if he can get a little more speed out of it, and if he can get a little more handling. So definitely wondering if he's just working on getting something fixed up for this 1 truck, trying to set up for the long run of this race.
Yeah, he's taking a little bit of a longer stop here. Pace car is coming out of 4, so hopefully he gets going here a bit. He's making some wholesale adjustments, whatever he's doing, because he's not pulling out.
He's got a little bit of a shorter gap to go, but it doesn't look like he's going to make the move off of pit road. What happened to the 1 truck? I'm trying to see if we can go back. This is under the caution.
He just decided to park it?
I don't know if that's a parking it thing. I'm trying to look and see. Maybe...
Felver there kind of faked him into the pits.
I don't think he was following Felver into the pits. I think he was just going into the pits anyways. It sounds like something's up with that truck. I can't tell what it is. But Dustin Hall on pit road looks like he's going to go another lap down here. So issues for the 1 truck. Looks like he's back rolling, though. He's back out on track. He's a lap down. So whatever happened...
Something mechanical, perhaps?
Possibly, but I'm wondering if he's going to take the gamble of something, just the setup just not being good. Take all the time in the world to work on it. We've got a guaranteed caution later on in this race, and I think he knows he's fast enough where he can try to stay as that lucky dog. So he'll take the gamble, come out pit road and get it fixed. But very peculiar for a top-running truck, issues there for the 1 of Dustin Hall. Once again, I learned my mistake of picking him as he winds up having more issues in a lap down. So the announcer's curse is indeed real. And it sucks to see it for that 1 truck there. So Alonso Chicano, Richard Trucco, still your front row. Dale Lucas Jr., Carl Felber, Dalton Kelly, the top 5 now. That's staying cycle through with the pitting of the 1 truck. Coming through 3 and 4.
It looks like the 82 is going to DNF today. Looks like he decided to park it.
And through the Geico restart zone, the green flag is out. We're back underway.
Good launch by Chicano there. He's going to get about a truck length and a half ahead of Petrucco there. And looks like Petrucco's going to have trouble with Lucas. Oh, Lucas nearly gets into him in the door there.
Side by side, tight racing. That 69 wants to make the move to second. He wants to get back out front. He's doing everything he can to the inside of the 27 of Rich Petrucco. And he's going to clear.
He's got more reason than anyone else to hang on to this because he's right on the cutoff line.
Dalton Kelly and Nolan Hodgson still side by side. This time the battle is for 5th now, not 6th.
Lucas peeking on Alonso Chicano for the lead going into turns 1 and 2. We saw him get door-to-door with Petrucco on the last restart, wasn't able to make it. Look, here he is on this restart, going for the lead into turn 3.
Desperation move by Dale Lucas Jr. He's got to get to this lead if he wants to try to lock into the playoffs and not have to worry about battling for points. He's to the inside of Alonso Chicano coming out of the front straightaway.
Here comes Lucas diving it into turn number 1. He's got good grip down there. Chicano kind of washes up a little bit, and Lucas is going to take the lead.
Not for long. That 25 is peeking back to the inside. He is still there on the quarter panel. To the inside comes Alonso Chicano. Going to try to make the move that Lucas just pulled on him. He's to the inside. Can't quite get there. Dale Lucas Jr. is going to pull away and clear.
Rich Petrucco mentioned to us during the stage break interview, he's looking to kind of conserve the tires here and not run them as hard as he did in stage 1. I could be fooled here, though, because he's all over Alonso Chicano. I wonder if he made some adjustments, though, that improved the overall handling and gave him back an edge over Chicano.
I'm wondering if what he thought was, if that 25 is leading, I'm going to be careful. With him being in second now, I think he thinks it's go time. Try to keep pace with the 69 of Dale Lucas Jr. because this 69 truck is going to burn his stuff up pretty quick, he thinks. So stick with them, get by him, and have a big advantage when you go on as he struggles later in the run.
Looks like Dale Lucas is a lot faster than these guys right now. Early on in this run, Chicano's holding up Petrucco just a little bit right now. And Rich is just trying to find a way. Here he goes into turn 3 again. He's shoving the nose on the inside of the 25 into turn 3, forcing his way through up to second. But Chicano's going to fight back on the exit of turn 4.
Ooh, into the wall, the 25! And that's going to allow the 27 to clear.
That's going to fall him into the hands of Carl Felber, who's all over the back bumper of the 25. And look who's up to 5th now, creeping into the picture with the leaders.
Dalton Kelly was all over Carl Felber there through 1 and 2. He's peeking into turn 3, but he's going to stay in line. Back to Alonso real quick with that wall contact. He was slowly riding up the track lap after lap, getting closer to that wall, and he finally popped it last time by. He's going to miss it this time, but like you guys mentioned, stay right ahead of Carl Felber.
Now remember, early going to this race, I was talking about how Dalton Kelly was struggling. He was back to 16th in this race. And right now he finds himself P5. He's fought his way through it. You see back in the back, it looked like the 57 of Cameron Stone got the wall on the exit of 2. But yeah, the 45, I was writing him off early. He was in 16th. He was struggling the whole time. He's found something that works. He's up to 5th. And now he's all over the back bumper, the 15 of Carl Felber. He wants to move to the front.
Dalton Kelly's truck seems to be coming to him as the race goes on. He had a good long run truck in stage 1, and it looks like he's made some adjustments here. He's been all over this pack. We thought he was going to lose it at a few points there during the beginnings of stage 1. Now he's got one of the fastest trucks out there on the track.
Rich Petrucco is pulling in that 69 a little bit by little bit here. He's kind of keeping it close, so he's not letting him get too far out of him.
Sure, he's breathing a sigh of relief because you got to think after getting that little bit of wall contact, you can see the right side of Chicano's truck is flattened a little bit. You have to think he's got a little bit of a sigh of relief knowing that that 25 is a little wounded and that's going to affect him just enough to probably not give him the speed in order to stay with the 27.
I think he's more happy about the fact that he didn't have to work too hard to pass him. He didn't have to fight, lap after lap just to get around the 25. As you see, he's able to make that corner. It just looks so easy there. But, he didn't have to worry about meticulously fighting around the 25 truck. He got by him quick. And that's going to allow him the ability to save his tire a little more than Lucas is right now while he stays behind him. So everything worked out smoothly for this 27 truck, and now he's got his sights set on just following the 69 until he burns it up and then going right by and taking back his race lead.
That's a good point, Dawson, because during stage 1, we saw Lucas came out of the gate really aggressively at the beginning of stage 1, and then after about 20 laps burned off the tires, and that allowed Petrucco to keep extending his lead. I'm curious to see, since now it's Lucas is the one in clean air, how that'll affect things. Will be Petrucco still manages to keep up and pass him as the run comes to him, or did Lucas make an adjustment here?
Adam, what are you looking out for?
Well, I'm watching Petrucco try and run down this lead, like Ben just mentioned, 7/10 of a second lead. Now it's cutting now even lower. They're going into turn 3. It seems like Petrucco is a lot faster on the entrance to the corners, but Lucas gaps him through the centers.
Yeah, Petrucco was much better on exit.
Looks like we still have a good 3-truck battle for third, though, between Chicano, Felver, and Kelly. Chicano's fighting to hang on over Felver here, and Dalton Kelly is lurking on these two.
Now, we were talking about this 15 pre-race, saying, keep your eye on him. He might be able to pull something off in this race, and right now, running in the 4th position, keeping up with this front, up here in the front. He's got a good truck. I think, just maybe that one last little change of an adjustment of the truck, and he might be golden here in that 3rd stage. But we'll have to see. Back in the back, the battle is for 9th. Cameron Stone, Brian C. Smith, and Brett Bennett all battling together here yet again.
And we saw these guys were fighting a lot during the end of stage 1, and that seems to be continuing here. The Team SBLD truck seemed to come in during the long run, while Stone was better on the short run. So as the rubber wears off on this set of tires, I'm curious to see if Stone can still hang on over them, or if he's going to fall into the hands of Smith, Bennett, and Armistead.
Yeah, and speaking of Jeffrey Armistead, that 20 truck there, we were talking about that cut line there. Brett D. Bennett, Brian Haynes, and Jeffrey Armistead. Of course, Haynes not running this race here, so he is not going to be anywhere near a factor of this. But if, couple circumstances line up here that could allow these two to be battling for that final spot, but it would take a lot to happen, and with what we've seen happen so far in this race, I do not see it happening the way that's going to go. But Pocono should be interesting, especially if these two get close in points and we see something happen. As we see the 20 truck to the inside of the 47 battling hard, can't quite make the move. Brett Bennett's going to hold that 11th spot as now Oscar Enriquez closes in on his teammate Jeffrey Armistead.
He kind of came in aggressively there and almost doored Bennett, and that caused him to back off the throttle a little bit, and that hurt him on exit quite a lot. That's going to allow Enriquez to close back up to him.
Armistead almost spun out there on the inside of Brett. They're trying to force that issue, like you mentioned.
And don't look now, Dawson and Adam. Looks like you can start playing the Jaws music in the background.
Oh, that 69
goodness.
Is wicked loose there. Able to keep it straight, but now the 27 all over the back bumper. He's feeling the pressure from Rich Petrucco.
Petrucco putting it nice and solid here. Some good solid diamond turns through the corner. He's not really pushing the envelope too much. He seems content just to kind of sit in Lucas's mirror and press R2 to intimidate, as you like to say, Dawson.
Indeed he is. He is all over the back bumper now, trying everything he can. You see that 25 wicked loose off of turn 2 as well.
Goodness.
But now Petrucco was peeking to the inside, thought about making the move, couldn't quite get there. Now he's going to have to fall back in line, lose a little bit of time to the 69 truck, but it's okay for him. You know, he's got the better truck. He knows it, so he's going to play around with them and see if he can force the 69 into a mistake to take that position without any issue.
Looks like Lucas has gathered it back up a little bit, and he's able to re-extend the gap to about 0.4 of a second. Chicano's actually starting to creep back up into the picture a little bit.
And slowly but surely, the 25 is closing back in as well, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. You know, to see who will be able to pull off the move to try to go for that Stage 2 win. Reminder to you, of course, Stage number 2 in this race. That will be the conclusion of lap 110, so we're just coming up to that window here for the second stage to end, so Dale Lucas Jr. once again, he's going to have 21 laps, 20 to go this next time by. He's going to have to fight to hold on to that spot and hold off two really good trucks.
Also worth noting further back in the packs, both Smith and Bennett have gotten by Cameron Stone. And now Stone's gotten back by Bennett. We're having a good battle back here for the 10th position for that final stage point.
Crossover by the 57. He's going to make it to the inside of Brett Bennett. This is for the 10th position, of course. That last point that you were talking about, you know, 10th place in the stage, the final playoff, the final point for the stage, the final bonus points you can earn from this race tonight. You see the 57 slides in the wall. He just about got hit by the 47 of Brett Bennett. Stone in the wall, hard contact, and that's going to take him out of this one here. He is still in the wall. He is on his side. I think he's just holding the throttle, seeing if he can cause a caution, but that 57 is just taking himself out of it. Got a little loose on the exit of 2, and that's what happens.
Tough break for Cameron Stone there. Let's see if we can get a look at the replay there and see if Bennett did make some contact with him.
Really quick, Carl Felver, Dalton Kelly still fighting side by side, but yeah, let's go back and see about that number 57 truck. See what happened. I don't know if there was any contact, but it was rather close to see here. So you see the crossover move. He makes to the inside. He gets by the 47 right here. He will make the crossover. He'll try to slide up in front of him. You'll see through the corner. He'll get to the inside. He'll try to slide up in front. I think he just overdrove it. Got a little loose there. Just bam, right into the wall. Bennett and Armistead able to miss him, but that 57 truck finally on pit road. Looks like that's going to end his day as well. His chance for the win now down the drain, up in smoke. But now we look ahead to see Dale Lucas Jr. still maintaining the race lead. Rich Petrucco still trying to hunt him down. Alonso Chicano. Then it's Carl Felver and Dalton Kelly, who have been in a battle of their own now as they keep continuing to battle for that position. Dalton Kelly still loose. Still loose for that 45. Now the long run being the issue for Dalton Kelly.
He manages to gather it up there a little bit. That's pretty much going to kill any hope he might have of catching Felver before the end of the stage. Unless he can really show some speed here. But the handling is really gone on that 45. And Lucas is starting to gap Petrucco just a little bit. And Chicano's starting to catch back up to Petrucco. But Petrucco mentioned during the stage break interview, he's not really looking to burn the tires here.
Definitely looking to save and just see if he can coast around. And, you know, the ability to do that right now and just stay in second place is just impressive here. And it just goes to show the speed this truck has. But, you know, the big thing to talk about right now, the fact that he's losing time. Dale Lucas Jr. running faster laps. So the big shakeup this will lead to, you know, that 69 truck, he is on the cut line right now. But with this win, that would move the 42 of Nolan Hodgson under the hot seat in case we get a new winner. And that also puts Dalton Kelly at risk if we were to get a new winner and he does not have a good race next week and Hodgson has a good race. So that really shakes things up, makes things close here for that playoff battle. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see, you know, with the 69 truck, he's got speed today. Can he finish the deal, win this race, and try to lock in the playoffs?
Yeah, if he wins today, it basically puts anybody from Reuter on back in points into a must-win situation going into that last race. And as we've seen in any form of racing, Dawson, desperate desperate drivers are capable of just about anything.
Yeah, if you got a guy who's backed into a corner and he's got to make that move, he's going to make the move that he needs to make to get what he needs, and that's what Dale Lucas is doing. He's gotten that Hail Mary, and it's working so far. He's currently leading this race, and now he's starting to gap the 27 of Rich Petrucco as he now starts to battle with Alonso Chicano for second.
Yeah, Alonso's been running down Rich Petrucco the last 3 or 4 laps, and he's been right there, about a tenth back. Can't really do anything right there, being so close, Ben.
Yeah, it looks like Chicano really starting to push the issue here, really trying to catch up to Petrucco. Something else to note here, in addition to looks like Stone's Day being done from that accident, it looks like Shartner has dropped out.
Battle heating up for the 7th position. That's Kyle Reuter, Nolan Hodgson.
Looks like Reuter made some better adjustments. He was having trouble trying to stay in the top 10 at the end of stage 1. But whatever adjustments he made on this truck have definitely come to him. And looks like Hall is actually running with some good speed up with these guys with whatever adjustments he made, despite being a lap down.
I think he absolutely took that time. Like I said, I think he knew he was going to be okay to get the free pass. So just, take the extra time. Get the extra adjustments you need to make that you think will make your truck feel better. And just go for it, Just stick with it and go with it. And you see that 47 of Brett Bennett is struggling here. Got passed by Jeffrey Armistead for 10th and is pulling away from him now. So stretching the gap between the two of them. But up front, battling for second, Alonso Chicano is there. All over the back bumper of Rich Petrucco here, heading down to turn 3 and 4.
Not seeing a whole lot of sliding and urgency from Petrucco. He's just kind of content to run his line, take care of the tires, and keep it in one piece. Chicano, though, is sliding all over the turns, trying to find any spot he can to get by him. That's just Alonso's aggressive style that we've come to know here in this series.
Alonso had a much smoother exit through turn 2, in my opinion. Got a much better back straightaway run, but Petrucco with a much harder approach into turn 3 on the brakes, pulled away just a little bit into the braking zone. Now trying to pull away down the front straightaway, about 0.4 of a second separate the two.
I think that 27 truck, I think he's thinking bigger picture, Save your stuff, go for that race win. You're going to have to make a pit stop, I believe you'll have to make a pit stop in the middle of this final stage, so definitely not wanting to push too hard. Just kind of save it for the final stage. Keep it going, keep that truck in one piece, and go for it in stage 3. He's looking at the race win, not the stage win, but that 69 is definitely in a win-now mode. As you see, he is up ahead. He is trying to gap the second and third place trucks, as we've just got 7 laps, make it 6 laps to go next time by here in stage 2.
Yeah, Lucas not really running away with it. He's gaining about 0.5 a lap right now over Petrucco and Chicano. But it's just enough where he should be able, at this pace, to secure a solid stage 2 win.
Which again is big for the points, It'll affect Nolan Hodgson, Dalton Kelly, the fact that he's going to get a stage win. That's 10 bonus points compared to Dalton Kelly finishing in 5th and Hodgson in 7th. That's going to be a big gap that's going to change there. And it's also the factor that the 69's been running out front this race, while Dalton Kelly has been able to recover from being out back to the middle of the field, and Hodgson's been stuck in that kind of middle ground area where he's not been able to run up front, but he's also not been running out back. So it's definitely going to affect things for this bubble to see how they all run and how they're all going to finish here. But right now, the 69 out in front, looking to try to make a statement and stay in the playoffs.
And further back, we have a good battle going on between Hodgson and Kruger, actually. Looks like Kruger managed to get just ahead of Hodgson. Good run for that 41 truck in his Mardon debut here.
Been a really solid run, the highest he's been all day. You know, he's just kind of fluctuated in and out of this bottom half of the top 10. Looking to see if he can make a later push here in this race to get up into the top 5. And I feel like he'll have the ability to do so. You know, he's always been a really good racer. And, you know, just seeing him out here right now, running in 6th, you know, just kind of taking care of everything, just kind of easing into that final stage. It comes as no surprise that Michael Kruger is running in the 6th position right now.
No, he doesn't, and I'm curious to see what he does as he continues to make more adjustments for the final stage. He's continuing to gain more and more. Luca's starting to grow his lead a little bit, actually. Looks like things have stabilized, too, between Petrucco and Chicano. Kelly's still all over the back end of Felver. That's a battle that's gone on for about 30 laps.
Yeah, really tame stage 2. Besides the incident with Shortner and Enriquez, you know, it's been pretty much smooth sailing as we get to 2 to go in the stage. Dale Lucas Jr., you know, barring any mistakes, he's got this one in the bag here. Battle now heating up. Nolan Hodgson's got Kyle Reuter right back behind him. Reuter's been trying to hunt back down this 42 for this 7th position. And Hodgson's going to have to hold on for dear life here on this one. He's going to have to make sure that 9 truck stays behind him. You see the 9 slides a little bit on the exit of 2. But that's going to be the battle we're watching here. But up front, white flag in the stage, Dale Lucas Jr.
Lucas going to keep it here on the high line here. Not sliding the tires a whole lot. Diamonds it down on exit to about the midline. He did a good job that, unlike in the first stage, he did a good job here in this stage of conserving his tires, making consistent runs, consistent line, not using up his stuff too much. I'm very curious to see if we have a good spoiler here for stage 3. This is my pick after all.
Dale Lucas Jr., stage 2 winner. Petrucco comes home 2nd, Alonso 3rd, Carl Felver in the 4th position, Dalton Kelly 5th. And it's Michael Kruger, Nolan Hodgson, Kyle Reuter. Then it's going to be Jeffrey Armistead in 9th, and in 10th place with the final stage position, it's going to be Brian Smith. So Jeffrey Armistead, of course, we were talking about the battle possibly between the two of them. He's got more points that Bennett did not get, so these two staying kind of close. It's going to be fun to see their battle. You know, while it may not be a battle for the playoffs, it's still going to be a tight points battle between the two, so that one will be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys who are hoping for a good pit stop here. They're probably praying that Chicano or Petrucco beats him off pit road, because there's a lot of guys there from a points perspective. They do not want Lucas to win, because if Lucas doesn't win, they still might have a outside shot from a points perspective. If Lucas wins, they have to win at the regular season finale. They have no choice.
The only driver that had a chance to point in still was Kyle Reuter, but that's out the window now. Dale Lucas Jr. just won the stage, and he had a good stage 1 finish as well. That strategy's out the window. You now have to go out and win this race or win Pocono to make the playoffs. So that's going to be a huge swing in the favor of the 69 truck, but as well as that, it's a huge swing in favor of the 42 and the 45. You know,
yeah.
Carl Felver's locked in. He is not going to have to worry anymore. He is no longer having to worry about racing for points. He is officially going to be locked in at the end of this stage. No worries, no issues for that 15 truck. They can go race for the playoffs. They can plan ahead 2 weeks from now. However, Dalton Kelly is still kind of in a tight battle. He's got a little more he's going to have to do before he can fully be comfortable as the race off pit road happens. Looks like a slow stop for the 25 of Alonso Chicano.
Really slow stop.
Possibly getting that damage repaired from when he got the wall. That's going to drop him all the way back to 10th.
Yeah, you have to think he got the damage repair there. He doored that wall pretty good. I'm actually impressed he was able to keep running as well as he was with that door damage. A good stop for Lucas, and I think something to talk about with Lucas is now that he's put the points into a situation where anyone behind him on the cutoff line is in a must-win situation, that kind of takes a little bit of pressure off him. Let's see if he can seal the deal here.
Alrighty, I believe you've got our Stage 2 winner, Dale Lucas Jr.
Give me a second here to pull him down. Try to see what channel he's in. There he is. Hey, Dale Lucas, this is Ben Smith up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got a copy.
Dale, good. You had a good truck there in stage 2, Fast Hot Rod. Congrats on the stage win.
Thank you very much.
So, Dale, with that stage win, you basically, for the regular season finale, put everybody behind you in a must-win situation. That must make you feel pretty good. But you're not quite secure yet. You really want to secure this win.
Yeah, I'm trying. I don't think I got the speed I need to get up there, to stay up here. I think these guys are a little faster than me behind me. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully we can hold them off and stay up here.
You feel like your truck has been coming to you as the runs evolve, and did you make some good adjustments there on that last pit stop to put you in a good position here for the final stage?
I'm terrible with adjustments, so I'm leaving it as is, and hopefully it just stays good.
Fair enough, Dale. What do you got? And what do you got for these guys? Rich has a good truck out there.
Yeah, they're very fast. In practice I was running 11, so I didn't think I had much for anybody, and here we are leading the thing. So something's coming to us, or something's working right, and hopefully we can keep at it and hold them off for the end.
Dale, you're about to restart here, so I'll let you get back to it. Congrats on the stage win, and good luck in the final stage.
Thank you.
Dale Lucas, entertaining as always, your stage 2 winner. So, the race off pit road. Dale Lucas Jr., Rich Petrucco, Michael Kruger, Dalton Kelly, Nolan Hodgson are your top 5. And not to mention, your lucky dog that last caution back on the lead lap, the one truck of Dustin Hall. Green flag flies, a huge jump by the 69 to get at front.
Well, that was a great jump by the 69. He kind of laid back on the throttle there off the nose of Kruger and just shot out of a cannon. And let's talk about Kruger there. Good pit stop for him. Now he's up to 3rd.
Oh, spinning! Dalton Kelly's around!
Big wreck.
Oh my goodness! Airtime for the 45! Alonso Chicano's in it, Nolan Hodgson's in it, and there's a stack up behind the 42, I believe. That's Oscar Enriquez and Dustin Hall. And the caution flag will fly for the 4th time tonight.
This changes everything.
A huge pile up on the back straightaway. Chicano just towed right to the pits. He is probably done, and that is why you do not want to be back in the pack. Something like that. Just the light damage he got with the wall put him back there, guys, and it ends his race.
Take a look back at this restart here. We'll go from the restart on. See, Dalton Kelly was the part of the incident. That run on the outside lane, he got a good jump. He got to the side-by-side with the 41 of Michael Kruger. But then right here, you'll see the 42 back there, the bottom left. He comes up, slides up into the 45. They make contact. That gets him sideways. The 42 goes around, and then Alonso Chicano and Dalton Kelly make contact in the 45. Catches air. Incredible.
Yeah, the 42 got a really good entry into 1 and 2 and was was able to hold down there. I think part of it was Kelly didn't expect him to be there.
We're going to go on board with the 25 of Alonso Chicano here on that restart. You know, the slower stop, starting out in the back, that's one of the biggest issues you have. You'll see, you know, all of these trucks just stacking up ahead of you, and you got a lot of work to get around it, but then you see Rex starts up ahead, just nowhere to go for the 25 truck. And that, stuck in the wall, that will do it. His race is going to be over.
Yeah, that engine's smoking. He's done. Tough break for Chicano. He had one of the 3 fastest trucks out there, along with Petrucco and Lucas. That's a set, barring a surprise, that's going to relegate us to pretty much a 2-truck show for the win at this point.
Yeah, the 25, Alonso Chicano, out of the race now. Dalton Kelly, Nolan Hodgson, both on pit road. And if, you know, those two didn't want something like that to happen, but I know somebody who's quietly celebrating to himself. That's the 69 of Dale Lucas Jr. Those 2 guys ahead of him in points now just had an issue, involved in a wreck, are not going to be a factor in this race.
Yeah, that takes a lot of pressure off of Lucas. He's still got to secure this win, but if he can now continue with getting to those stage points and maybe some good points here to end the day, close the gap on the 42 and the 45, he's going to be sitting in pretty good shape going into Pocono. And Dawson, did we have anybody else on the back there with some damage trying to get repairs? I know we had some guys towards the back of the draft kind of stack up a little bit.
I believe the 66 of Oscar Enriquez, and I think it might have been the 56 of Mason Lowry, or maybe the one of Dustin Hall was the one who was checked up behind him, just trying to miss the wreck. I believe Hall made it through, no damage, but the 66, not as fortunate. He's on pit road getting that damage repaired. I think it was some heavy front-end damage for him, so you see him pull off pit road. Yeah, some front-end damage. That left front pushed up there. So a tough break for that 66 of Oscar Enriquez as he comes rolling off of pit road. And that number 66 SBLD Toyota Camry.
What are your thoughts on this? Because this really changes the complexion of this race a bit.
Yeah, that late caution there is going to cause that Toyota TRD Pro truck to have some issues. But we'll see what happens as this run goes on. We're going to have 55 laps to go on this restart. And Dale Lucas Jr. is going to have to hold off Petrucco because I think Petrucco is going to push hard. But also, too, now, 41 of Michael Kruger. He's up in the mix. Kyle Reuter, the one that's on the cut line, he's up in the mix, too. And Joe Guelt is 5th now. It looks like some of those guys deciding to stay out. Others decided to pit. We're going to have to see how this shakes up as it's going to be Lucas Petrucco leading us to the green once again.
Great launch for the 69 there.
Another great restart for Dale Lucas Jr. as he tries to stay out front of this 27 of Rich Petrucco.
Oh, Jeffrey Umstead might have caught the wall there off of turn 2. Michael Kruger's going to lose 3rd position to Kyle Reuter. He's going to chase down Petrucco into turn 3.
And you're looking back, Dalton Kelly struggling positions next to that 42 truck. I don't think he's going to play too nice with them. Getting right up next to him here. Oh, he's going to send in a little deep on him. Side by side with the 42. This is 4th position for 11th. They're racing hard. The 42 is in the wall. And it looks like the 45 is going to try to get by him here. Put a little pressure on him. They still pushing side by side, though.
You have to think there's probably a little animosity from Kelly towards Hodgson for how that wreck started back there, and he's not going to give him any favors.
Yeah, he's definitely not giving him any room. He's not giving him any leniency. You see up ahead, Brian C. Smith running that top lane, but getting past again that one truck. Dustin Hall back on the lead lap, back battling. You see side by side. It looked like Brett Bennett. Carl Felber made a little bit of contact. Bennett's going to be the benefactor of that one. He'll take the 9th position. And how about Kyle Reuter? Up to 3rd now. He is especially going to have to fight for these next couple laps, for the last set of laps, to try to go for that win. He needs this win to get into the playoffs. And now, Dale Lucas Jr., he's put on some points for this race. He's going to have to make sure he can finish it off. But he saw the 27 slide sideways on the exit of 2, so very well may see that 69 try to gap 27 in the 9.
Yeah, Lucas off to about a good, really early lead over Petrucco by about almost 7/10 of a second there down the straightaway. Looks like Petrucco's going to close up a little bit in the turn. Reuter up at the highest he's been all day, and same with Kruger and Armistead. Looks like some of the SBLD guys as well as Reuter really starting to come in here and take advantage of the misfortune some guys had with that accident.
50 laps to go. Dawson, you mentioned a moment ago that Petrucco kind of... Oh, we have a caution.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Brett Bennett spun out in turn 1.
I'm wondering if he had some help with that.
racing Carlo Felver and Dalton Kelly here down the front straightaway, Ben.
Here, see. Oh, ooh, what
Wow.
happened? What happened there? It looks like.
That's aggressive.
Oh, and that's a big hit. Looks like. What happened with Felver there? Felver just kind of got just turned right into his door.
Looked very strange, Ben. Man, it doesn't look like it's on the onboard.
Or from the onboard, it looks like Brett came down.
Yeah.
Is that Dawson? Was that a possible netcode? Here's it once again. Side by side coming through that exit. Kelly over their back bumper. Get close here, and oh, yep. Looks like from that angle, I think you can kind of see it, Adam. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like Bennett came down a little bit and may have drawn the netcode.
Oh, Felver got very lucky. He didn't spin out there. Looks like he's gonna come down pit road with plenty of other drivers here, but Petrucco looked like he stayed out.
Yeah, Petrucco is the race leader right now. Yeah, I was trying to say, it looked like maybe the 47 was trying to make a set up an entry into the corner, as was the 15, and they were just fighting over the same real estate. They collided, got together, and spun each other out. So, just racing deal, things like that happen all the time. So that's what I think happened there. So I'm looking through the field here. Let's take a look and see. I think, the 15 and the 27 and the 66, are the two that stayed out here. Rich Petrucco, Oscar Enriquez. So Jeffrey Armistead was first off of pit road. He is currently sitting on the freshest tires, but did he take all four? Did he take two? That's to be determined. I don't know, but we'll have to see what happened.
A lot of diverging strategy here. I'm curious if Trucco maybe felt that the run wasn't really long enough for the tires to wear out. And if it was 2 tires for Enriquez and Armistead there, I'm curious if the 2 tires, how long they hold up for versus 4 tires.
Well, Enriquez did not pit is the thing. Enriquez, he pit the last caution. He didn't pit this caution. So he is on fresher tires than Petrucco, and then the rest of the field is on fresher tires than the both of them. So, yeah, it'll be interesting.
The thing is with Enriquez, he didn't really have that fast of a truck or well-handling of a truck compared to our leaders. And if you're Rich Petrucco looking at this, you're probably thinking to yourself, regardless of how fast Lucas is, he's got 2 trucks he's got to fight through before he gets to you. So he could potentially take off here if his truck still holds in well and have some good handling.
To the detriment of Lucas, he is boxed in on the outside of row 2, so he can't really go anywhere on this restart. It's not like he can fan out to the inside and push the envelope. He's kind of boxed in here once we get going. And we've seen the outside leans struggle on the restarts compared to the control truck.
Yeah, don't look now. Look who's the inside of row 3. It's the 15 of Carl Felver. Just got out of the accident there, and now he finds himself in the 5th position as well. So it'll be interesting to see what this 15 truck can do. See if he can't make it to the field. You see back there as well, Kyle Reuter's in 7th, Dustin Hall 8th, Joe Quilt 9th, Brian Smith rounding out your top 10. We got 14 trucks still running on the lead lap. But it's going to be Rich Petrucco, Oscar Enriquez, your front row, leading us to green.
Well, looks like it's going to be a big launch here for Petrucco. Had a bit of a gap over Enriquez. Let's see what happens here. Oh, Enriquez just does not go.
Enriquez did not get a good restart. He's going to get sent up front here. Let's see what happens here. They're still tight side-by-side racing. Everybody trying to get any position they can on these restarts. You don't know when you're going to get them anymore. Nothing is guaranteed. You'll see the 15 try to pull to the outside lane. He's going to force the issue on Michael Kruger. That's going to stack up the 41. They're able to keep it straight. 3 wide up ahead for second. Here comes Lucas and Armistead together.
Yes, he's going to thread the needle and take second. He knows he's got to go. And that was a hell of a move to get by both of them. And he's on fresh tires with Petrucco in his sights.
That was incredible.
What a move.
absolutely phenomenal. And that puts him now into the second position with a 27 in his sights. A lot older tires for Rich Petrucco compared to Dale Lucas Jr. Jeffrey Armistead in third. Michael Kruger now trying to make a move for fourth on Oscar Enriquez. He's to the inside, trying to slide up in front. Here comes Dustin Hall as well. Carl Felber stuck behind the 66, and the battle continues on between this group of trucks right here. Dalton Kelly having issues in the back. Almost took out Mason Lowry there, but they're able to keep it straight, keep it on the straight and narrow and going. But just everybody fighting for anything they can get now. The battle for the lead is still tightening up. Dale Lucas Jr. is all over the back bumper of Rich Petrucco.
Petrucco trying to take that line away from Lucas, but Lucas able to get back to the throttle a lot sooner than he can, and he's going to be able to set him up to possibly make a move here into 3 and 4.
Background, Michael Kruger going on Jeffrey Armistead for P3. Dustin Hall, you mentioned him a moment ago, Dustin. He pitted on this last caution, got the wave around. He's on fresh tires. He's been slicing through the entire field like we've seen him do all night, but he's up into the top 5 again, right on the back bumper of the 20 truck for fourth. He's going to dive into 2 and 1, trying to get both of them.
Kruger sliding up, battle for the lead. He's to the inside. Dale Lucas peeked to the inside, couldn't quite get it. Kruger clears for third. Here comes Hall for fourth as Petrucco takes an offensive line and trying to hold off Dale Lucas Jr.
This got a little loose coming out of 2 there on the exit. He diamonds the corner here. He's going to try and get a good exit. Petrucco. Petrucco wiggles a little bit. Let's see if Lucas can set him up here in 1 and 2.
Lucas doing everything he can to get around that 27 truck. He's trying to get to the inside. He's got the run to the inside. Here comes Dale Lucas Jr. for the race lead. Gets a little loose off the corner. Able to keep it straight, keep it even with Petrucco coming into 3.
That was an incredible save by Lucas and holding it in the throttle. He's going to get clear of him pretty easily here.
Well, we've said it all night. He needs to make tonight count. He's been leading laps. He just needs to finish the job. Now we're in the final leg of this race, and if he can stay ahead of Petrucco for the final 40 laps or so, he's gonna be right in the position he wants to be. So big time blocks there at the back of the pack on the back straightaway, but up front it's Dale Lucas Jr. trying to put a half a second lead over Rich Petrucco, Dawson.
And you know that 69 truck is just hoping they stop racing like that back there. He's hoping they get all sorted out and just get a straight line going and just keep it green the rest of the way, because he knows then if he can get that, he'll be able to take on this race. When you see back there, Jeffrey Armistead losing another spot. I believe that's Kyle Reuter and Carl Felber passing that 20 truck. So it looks like the strategy call is not working yet for that 20 truck. He drops back to 7th, now under fire from Nolan Hodgson, who's making a great recovery after that incident with Dalton Kelly earlier on in the race.
You gotta give him a little credit. I mean, just following the leader from back in 9th and 10th wasn't gonna do anything for them. So I kind of respect the strategy call. Clearly didn't pay off, and the fact that Petrucco is out there on old tires, I think, is a testament to just how well dialed in the handling is on that 27 truck.
And definitely doing a very good job that 27 Rich Petrucco is, with the battle heating up still. Michael Kruger and Dustin Hall. These two are going at it now. They're swapping back and forth the lap times on who's faster, who's slower. That time by, the one truck was faster. Now on the back bumper here, the 41 of Michael Kruger trying to make a mistake. He wants to go after the 27 and then the 69 and try to go for this race win.
Yeah, that one truck is somebody you were watching there, Dawson. He took going a lap down to make some wholesale major adjustments on that truck, knowing he was going to be able to get the free pass with ease, and it seems to have paid off for him too. I'm curious to see if he does get by the 41, what he might have for Petrucco, given he's dialed in that truck and is on fresh tires.
You see both of them up ahead, gaining on that 27 of Rich Petrucco, but it's more so a matter of getting around him and going after the race leader, Dale Lucas Jr. That's going to be their big thing, is they've got to get around him quick to try to set their sights on the 69 truck, and they've also got to make sure not to try to hold each other up, trying to battle for this third spot.
And if they get battling for too long, there's a they got a decent gap over Reuter, but if they battle too long, there is that possibility they could catch up. Looks like Hall's going to try and diamond the corner here. Good defensive line for Kruger. Really showing what he can do on his debut here. Looks like Hall's going to try and dive it in here.
Yeah, Dustin Hall wants to go here, but Michael Kruger is the one that's in his way, so he's got to try to find a way around this 41 truck fast, set his sights on Rich Petrucco and go for that second spot, and then try to target Dale Lucas Jr. to go for the race win.
And Lucas growing his lead now to about 1.3 seconds now over Rich Petrucco. He's gaining about a tenth and some change per lap over the 27.
Move to the inside, going for third. Here comes Dustin Hall. Slides up a little bit, almost leans on that 41 truck. He's there side by side. They're battling down the front stretch. Kruger's going to clear back and keep that third spot, but for how much longer? Dustin Hall wants to go now. He's to the inside, trying to get to that quarter panel, trying to get even. He'll draw even here through 1 and 2. Can he get the run on the back stretch? Ooh, he's going to get a little loose, but he's going to keep it straight. Man, oh man, that turn 2 exit has been a trouble spot for a lot of drivers here in this race tonight.
He can carry the speed, good speed in on the entry. He's better on entry than Kruger, though Kruger is slightly better on speed and handling on exit over that one truck.
Just watching this one truck here, see how smooth his inputs in his hand are, and just how smooth he is on the wheel. Trying to get back into it. He is hunting down this 41 truck yet again, doing everything in his power to try to go for it. He wants to get up to the front. He wants to go for the win here, but right now stuck battling the 41 of Michael Kruger.
Absolutely stuck behind him. He's been stuck behind him this entire run pretty much, Dawson. Since the restart, he was able to clear his way up through the pack, got up to P5, got past Ruder, but now he's been stuck behind Kruger since then for this battle for P3.
As the fight continues on, the 69 truck checking out from Rich Petrucco now to a 1.6 second lead. Just 30, make it 29 laps to go here at New Hampshire. And as he sees that white truck of Rich Petrucco get smaller and smaller in the rearview mirror, you know he is starting to get a little antsier now, just waiting for something to happen, you know. The caution could come out, you could lose the truck, and you could snap around and get in the wall. You know, there's a lot of things that can happen in 29 laps, so you know those are crossing his mind. He's got those things creeping in his head that something's going to happen, and he's not going to get this race done clean.
Yeah, and everything's going to be running through his mind right now because he knows that if he wins this, his season is basically made. And he'll be locked into the playoffs and sitting real comfortable going into Pocono. And behind him, he's just continuing to gain. Now it looks like about a tenth and a half now. He's gaining per lap over Rich Petrucco. Looks like we have a good battle heating up for 7th, actually, between Hodgson and Smith.
Yeah, still side by side here. Smith is trying to get to the inside of the 42. Doing everything in his power to get by him here in that 54 truck.
That 54 is also relatively clean, while that 42 is wounded from the earlier incident with Kelly.
Of course, the 54, the 45 teammates there for SBLD. You'll see the 54, you know, this is another driver here who knows this track well. You know, this is one of his favorite tracks to run, he said, and he was excited coming into this race. He said he was looking forward to this one, had it marked on the calendar. He loves this racetrack, and so he's really excited to be here racing. And meanwhile, back in the back, I believe it's Dalton Kelly that was having issues ahead of Brett Bennett. Somehow, some way, through all of that, he's still in 11th place.
There's been different ways to lose a race without ending it, per se. Kelly has found it. Though he's still saying, well, oh, looks like Smith's going to go around on the outside there. Hodgson leans on him, but it looks like Smith's going to prevail and take the position.
Yeah, Smith got up there, and Hodgson just about got into it. Meanwhile, Carl Felver is going for 5th on Kyle Reuter. Here they come through 3 and 4. The 15 tried to the inside, couldn't quite get the job done. Now Reuter's going to try to pull away here. Reuter needs this points day really badly now. You know, if he can't contend for the win, he's going to have to just settle for a good points run and hope that something good goes his way at Pocono, because right now he is going to have to win that race next week.
It looks like Wilt got by Armistead. Those old left side tires have definitely hampering the 20 truck.
Dustin Hall still trying to get around Michael Kruger. These two still going at it, but as you see, look ahead, almost a 3-second lead now for Dale Lucas Jr. over the 27 of Rich Petrucco. Just continuing to stretch his legs and stretch this lead. And, you know,
and Petrucco's starting to fall back actually a little bit into the clutches of Kruger and Hall. Despite their battling, they are closing on him.
You know, if anybody's celebrating this besides Lucas, I would like to say Carl Felber's happy with this result, and then maybe even Dalton Kelly. You know, he's going to finish 11th. He's going to finish a couple spots behind Hodgson, but he still should be pretty close to staying ahead of this 42 and maybe even close to locking in here. So we'll have to see what happens. But it all depends. You know, there's still a couple other scenarios in play that we will discuss at the end of this race. Try to get you some ideas and let you know what we know. So as we see here, Dale Lucas Jr. continues to lead. Coming up, closing in on 20 laps to go. Just about a 3-second lead for our race leader. The battle for third is kind of slowed down. A slow simmer now between Kruger and Hall. They still battle for third, though, as Rich Petrucco is just up ahead.
Is really, really aggressive on the brakes right now. Really attacking the corners every chance he's got. And as you mentioned, Petrucco has driven away just a little bit over these guys compared to when Ben mentioned it just a few laps ago. So this could be a very good battle in disguise for Petrucco if these two keep battling like this, especially if Hall keeps abusing his brakes like this, being really, really attacking these corners.
Yeah, it looks like he's using up his stuff a lot more than Kruger is. Kruger was running some really defensive high lines and getting good drive off, and he's not sliding around the tires nearly as badly as Hall is. So this is actually playing out in favor for the 41. Now if the 41 has a little separation and can gain some lap times here, I'm curious to see if he can gain a little bit on Petrucco now that since he has fresher tires than he does.
It's been pretty much the entire run. Hall looks to be just a little bit faster than Kruger. He just needs the clean air to capitalize, and of course he doesn't have it. And I believe that's where his downfall is just losing it on the exit of the corner. As you see there, he washes up, gets real close to that wall, while the 41 just has a smooth ride off the corner.
Worth noting here too for this race, anyone who's on the track right now is a lead lap truck. Though for how much longer is debatable, considering Enriquez is now back all the way to 14th, 9 seconds back. Wow, what happened back here?
15 of Felver got a little loose. Got a little loose there on the exit of turn 2. Got the outside wall just a little bit there, but he's able to keep it going. You know, just a light tap at least for the 15. You know, not going to be too much of a killer here. He's in the playoffs. He's locked in. It's just a matter now of just finishing out these next 2 races if he even races next week. And then just getting ready to go for the playoffs.
As I was saying, everybody's on the lead. Everybody left in this race is on the lead lap right now. Outside of them, we have, by my count, Dawson, we just have 4 trucks out of this race.
Yeah, the 4 trucks out, the 25 of Alonso Chicano, the 57 of Cameron Stone, the 18 of Andrew Schardner, and the 82 of Nick Stein, of course. All 4 of those drivers have a win this season. They are all locked in the playoffs, so not too much of an issue for them if they end up wrecking out of this race, not able to continue. But, you know, for someone like that 69 of Dale Lucas Jr., it's big for him to be out front. A 3-second gap now as we close in on 26 laps to go this time by.
Something to keep in mind, too, is judging by the lap times, he's going to catch Enriquez on old tires and Lowry in pretty quick fashion here before this race is set and done. I'm curious to see how they'll getting into their dirty air will affect him.
Yeah, but Dale Lucas, you know, again, everything that happens in this truck now, it's going to be on his mind. He has got everything racing through his head. He is just anxious right now as this race continues on.
Almost a full straightaway lengths lead over Petrucco. Saw Petrucco pushing it hard back there, sliding the tires a bit coming out too. Though he's still managing to keep a good gap over Kruger, who's now started to get some separation away from Hall, who I think has pretty much used up all his tires at this point.
Yeah, I think it's just about settled.
Yeah, and it's really impressive that, as Ben mentioned, to see Petrucco to kind of gain back on Kruger, as we've mentioned, majority of this run that Petrucco is on really old tires compared to everyone else that's up here. Really the only one that was on the same set of him was Armistead and Enriquez, who we see 10th and 14th, and Enriquez about to lose a lap, so very, very impressive from that 27 machine, as we mentioned all night.
Yeah, it's a good testament to that 27.
Just 14 laps to go. Battle heating up, 7th, 8th, 9th. That's Hodgson, Gwilt, and Smith. 3 of these trucks here, and here comes Jeffrey Armistead as well. He's still in the picture as well. Just any position you can get, anything you can pick up. Battle up here. Battle for 4th. Make it 5th, actually. Felvert out of the inside of Reuter trying to get by. And he's going to do it. He's going to clear. That 9 truck's going to shuffle back to the 6th position. And that's not what he wants to see.
That 9 truck got really upset as soon as the 15 cleared him. You see the immediate wake of air completely shift the balance of that 9 truck.
Gwilt almost gets out of shape there, hangs on to it. He is pushing that truck hard to try and keep up. Oh, he's blinking a little bit, trying to keep up with Hodgson. Smith still in the picture here as well. Kind of diamonding the corner, trying to get some speed on launch here. Yeah, he's continuing to lose time. Looks like Armistead is starting to come back up towards Smith.
Yeah, battle between SPLD teammates for this 9th position. Brian Smith and Jeffrey Armistead. Another good run here, like we said. Brian Smith, you know, he's just been kind of around, and the caution flag is flown!
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness, who's it for? Oh, it's the 66 of Oscar Enriquez.
Oh. Those old tires finally gave out.
That changes everything. You see the replay here for the 66. Looks like coming out of turn 4, just gets a little sideways there. He's able to hold it, lock it down. And because of that, it's going to cause the caution. Man, oh man, we are going to get a restart.
It is going to sting really, really bad for Dale Lucas Jr., who was, of course, first on the scene to see that. Man, that must be heartbreaking as we see these trucks come down pit road. Petrucco trying to close the gap that he had built up with the lap trucks between them.
Stay it out! The one truck of Dustin Hall, nothing to lose. Might as well take the gamble. He's going to stay out. Obviously, the 66, the cause of the caution is going to stay out as well, but the lone truck to stay out is the one of Dustin Hall. We're going to try to watch the race off pit road here.
That's a bold call for that one.
It's a bold call, but I mean, he's got nothing to lose. You know, he does not have to worry about anything. You know, he's not going to have a chance to make the playoffs. He hasn't run enough races. He's just here for wins. So see here, oh, it was close. I think it might have been Rich Petrucco off first.
I don't know. It looked like from my angle, it looked like Lucas got him by just a little bit.
They may have credited that to Lucas. That was really close there on that pit exit line. And it looks like it was Dale Lucas Jr. going to be credited with the second, first off pit road. And then it was Rich Petrucco, Michael Kruger, Carl Felver, Nolan Hodgson, Joe Gwilt, Jeffrey Armistead, Brian Smith, Kyle Reuter, Mason Lowry, then Brett Bennett, Dalton Kelly. And then Oscar Enriquez, of course, a lap down. Just went back down pit road. Interesting strategy.
A reminder to folks, because Enriquez was the cause of the caution, there was no free pass on this caution. Dawson, as we're gonna have a shootout here. What are you thinking here? Because obviously, being on the outside of Hall, Lucas has to get ahead of him quickly before turn 1. Now that Petrucco's on even tires with him.
Yeah, especially considering Petrucco's going to have the inside lane compared to Lucas on the outside. This is going to be a tight battle here. They're going to push everything they've got. Looking at it right now as they run, Dalton Kelly is at 598 points. He's going to jump, or he's going to be at 598 points. He is going to have I think that's about maybe a 32-point gap over Dale Lucas, who is the final truck on the cut line. A massive gap to Kyle Reuter, which is exactly what he needed. So right now, barring, Lucas winning, Dalton Kelly, is locked into the playoffs no matter what it looks like. That 69 could win, could lose, doesn't matter. Dalton Kelly has enough points. He will make the playoffs here, so he doesn't have to worry about anything anymore. Now it's just a matter of, can Dale Lucas get up there and go for that race win? He's got more points. He's close to locking in on points, but of course, that bottom spot in the cut line is going to get him, on the edge. But points-wise, the 69 is safe. The 42 is safe. They're all ready to just go for the race win. So, at this point, it's just going to lock into the playoffs, and that's all you can do.
You got some thoughts here before we go green?
Buckle up.
Yeah, hopefully this doesn't get too chaotic, but Dustin Hall is going to be on the loud pedal quick here.
I'm expecting total chaos on this launch.
Pace cars off. Dustin Hall, Dale Lucas Jr., green flag back in the air. Not a good jump by the one truck. Dale Lucas Jr. looks to clear up front. Petrucco's going to shove the one up the track. That's going to affect Michael Kruger's exit here. Petrucco's going to push hard. Lucas is going to push hard. Kruger as well. The top three clear the one truck as they go down the back straightaway.
Kruger going to look underneath Petrucco here. Doesn't have anything for him. Petrucco right up to the back bumper of Lucas.
That one truck is trying to hold it down. He can't quite do it. Petrucco, Kruger, 1, 2, 3 right now. All nose to tail.
It's going to get intense here. Don't. I would expect there's going to be some bumpers and fenders rubbing here, as we got some pretty intense battles back in the pack too.
That one truck is just holding on for everything he's got. He's trying not to take anybody out while he's struggling here on these old tires. He is dropping like a rock here as he continues his descent. He is down to 8th now. So the strategy not working out for Dustin Hall. Battle is still for the lead. Rich Petrucco is still there with Dale Lucas Jr. 5 laps to go here in New Hampshire.
Fallen off the pace of the 27 just a little bit on this restart. 0.4 of a second behind as the 27 sends it deep on the brakes into turn 1.
He's going to be there with them. He's right there on the back bumper of Dale Lucas Jr. Oh, spinner in the back. Joe Gwilt's around. Caution flag is going to fly. We're going to overtime here in New Hampshire.
Another truck was in the wall there in the back straightaway also, Dawson.
Looks like it was Lowry.
Might have been the 56 of Mason Lowry. Looking at the replay here, this is the 37 of Joe Gwilt. Just gets a little loose, spins it, tries to recover it, and I think, oh yeah, the one truck lost it a little bit there. Got into the 56 of Mason Lowry. And that is what's going to put us under caution yet again. Now, Dale Lucas Jr., your race leader, he is going to need the restart of a lifetime to try to hold off this 27 and this 41 truck.
I've seen it before. This 69 has had good restarts against Petrucco, but this is, we've seen people are not immune towards moving each other if it means a win at any track.
Absolutely not, Ben. And we saw Lucas with a great restart. Not even as the control truck last time. Completely blew the one truck out of the water there in the restart zone. So he's going to look to do the same over Petrucco this time.
And 2 restarts ago, he got with he went 3 wide, threading the needle on a bold move to get by the 20 and the 66 when he had the tire advantage over Petrucco. So he's willing to take chances here if it means securing a playoff spot.
And again, looking at your points, see Oscar Enriquez, he's going to get the free pass. We're going to have an overtime restart here. We have 3 attempts if we need them, but hopefully we're not going to have to get that far in here. Hopefully we can get it done under green. But looking at the points as they run right now, Dalton Kelly is 85 points to the good. And then just behind him as they run, of course, Nolan Hodgson. He's currently scored in the 5th position. He is just 12 points behind Dalton Kelly, so he is to the good as well on points if we do not have a new winner in the next 2 races. And then Dale Lucas Jr., of course, he's got an 83-point gap over that over the 9 truck of Kyle Reuter, excuse me. So he is currently looking to stay out front and hoping that he can hold off and, try to go for it and go for the win, just to make sure he doesn't have to worry about next week at Pocono.
Real quick to talk about this restart, Michael Kruger is going to start on the inside of row 2. He's been really, really aggressive when he's been restarting on the inside lanes. You mentioned it, Dawson, on the last restart. Kind of got pushed out to the outside, got held up a little bit because he wasn't in the lane he's probably been used to all night, and he got held up with the one truck on no tires. So he might be a wild card here and just be a spoiler in this last 2-lap overtime restart.
Something I just noticed, back, Cameron Stone back on track. I believe he's been out on track just kind of running the caution laps to get a position. I think he was behind Shorter at first, now is in 16th. Definitely a choice, I would say, for that 57 to be back out on track, but maybe got all the damage repair, just wanted to get a couple more laps in here, see if he can have a little bit of fun in the race.
Boy, wouldn't that be quite a storyline, Dawson, if Kruger in his Mardon debut could play spoiler here.
Yep. It would be big here because Dale Lucas Jr. needs this win to ensure he does not have to stress Pocono next week. If he can win it now, he will have the monkey off his back, the weight off his chest. He will be locking himself in, and he'll be able to have a little bit of fun next week at Pocono, just going for the race win to try to add some extra bonus playoff points, but we'll have to see. Overtime attempt number 1, Dale Lucas Jr., Rich Petrucco, Michael Kruger, Carl Felver, Nolan Hodgson, your top 5. Don't count out that 42 yet. He's still up there in the mix, and if something happens and goes awry, he might be able to sneak by, grab that win, and lock himself in. Pace car is in. A great restart by Dale Lucas Jr. way out in front of the pack.
What a launch by Lucas, still proving to be the restart king here today. Let's see if he can run away with it. About a 3-truck length lead over the 27. Looks like 27 is going to wash up a little bit.
Kruger got in the back of the 27, had to get out of it. Yeah, they're spinning in the back. That's the 56 Mason Lowry. He's going to keep it straight. We're going to get to the white flag, I do believe, this time by. Rich Petrucco is still right there. Battle for third, Carl Felver, Michael Kruger coming around. The white flag is out. We're going to end it here under green. Dale Lucas Jr. looking to win here. Rich Petrucco looking to steal it from him.
Oh, good entry there for Petrucco. He's going to get right to him. He's going to try and set him
up. Oh, too hard! He's not going to get it. Kruger's going to get hit almost there by Felver. It's going to do it. Through 3 and 4 for the final time.
How about that?
Dale Lucas Jr. coming into this race was on the cut line, but now exiting, he's going to lock himself into the playoffs. Dale Lucas Jr. is going to win at New Hampshire.
What a run by Lucas.
Michael Kruger, P2. Nolan Hodgson, P3. How about Jeffrey Armistead recovering to finish P4? And then Carl Felver brings it home, P5. What a race and what a finish.
He stepped up to the plate, guys. We talked about it all night, how he needed this. He capitalized, and every restart, you guys mentioned it, especially there when it came down to it at the very end, he needed a great restart, and wow, he left everyone almost standing still there in the overtime restart.
We talk about how since playoffs are introduced to the sport, is that Game 7 moments. Nothing more Game 7 there. 2 races to go in the regular season. A guy who needs to lock himself into the playoffs goes out and does it, and now all the pressure's off him for the regular season finale.
I want to go back and look at that final lap there. That final lap that we saw, that was the final restart here. Rich Petrucco was right there. You saw in the back, Mason Lowry looked like Dustin Hall had a little bit of a dust up. And then through 3 and 4, that 27 truck of Rich Petrucco, he had the opportunity right here. He closes in big time coming to the white. And, I was wondering if that 27 was going to be able to make that move he needed to make. Just looking back here, he sends it in deep.
Yeah, I was worried he was about to wipe them both out here.
But right here, he's on the gas a little too hard, just unable to keep it straight. And see the 15 almost turned the 41 as well. Everybody
taking evasive action here. Yeah, 27, I think he he hit the gas too hard and ended up spinning the tires, and that's what got him to send him around. Tough break for Petrucco, and because every truck was remaining running was on the lead lap, he's going to be credited with a 14th place finish as a result.
But you can't blame him for going for it. I mean, yeah, he's locked in the playoffs. He's already got the win. But go for it anyways, That's bonus points you can go for. It doesn't matter, they're locked in the playoffs. And, it was a heck of a drive by Rich Petrucco. The result does not tell the story. Showing up 14th as the final result, but in the end, actually, he brings it home 14th. But a strong run today by that 27 truck. So, what do you say we pull in the first driver from the podium? Let's have a chat with the driver of the number 42 truck. That's Nolan Hodgson. I believe you are down there with him, Ben.
Yes, give me a second here. Pull him in. Hodgson. Oh, there he is. Oh, my bad. Just pull him down. There we go. Hey, Nolan Hodgson, Ben Smith up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Tough battling out there today. You were getting fendered out there today, but it looks like you're going to come home taking advantage of some of the chaos there at the end for a solid 5th place finish.
Yeah, going into that last restart, I knew I kind of had to be aggressive a little bit there. Fending off the guys behind, they were really aggressive going into the corners. I guess the seas kind of parted for me there at the end with a bunch of people getting loose and whatnot. So, tight truck tonight. Good thing to come home with 3rd.
And you got some guys out there you want to thank for this effort today?
Yeah, Alex Princeton. He owns my team, Alex Princeton Racing. He's very supportive of what I do. My parents for letting me do what I do. Team Watson Racing for the setup, and my Mima out there. She likes to watch my races.
And what's your mentality now going into Pocono with a bunch of hungry guys behind you who need to win in order to pass you over the cut and get ahead of you for the last spot in the playoffs?
Yeah, obviously the mindset is to win. We'll see how the setup is next week, or whenever we race again. I try to keep ahead of Reuter as much as possible, and hopefully we can come away with a good finish there too.
Awesome. Congrats on the effort today, Nolan. Yeah, good work despite with a lot of adversity today.
Thanks, guys.
Alright, let's see if we can get hold of our 2nd place finisher, Michael Kruger. Let's see if we can get him in here. Hey, Michael Kruger, this is Dawson up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you, Dawson.
Alrighty, that was a crazy finish there coming to the line, but somehow, some way, able to sneak your way into the 2nd position. How was that race out there for your debut here in the Juggernaut Truck Series?
I mean, it was really fun. I mean, what can I say? I mean, it was fun racing with these guys. I mean, this is my first race back since Watkins Glen last year, and I mean, I didn't expect to at all be this kind of competitive, really. I mean, I was okay speed and practice. I qualified decent, I thought, and race-wise, I thought maybe able to get a top 10, but just as the race was going on, I was just being surprised, like, maybe I can get a 5th, and then on the green white checker, I was thinking maybe if I can hold off a top 3 possibly, and then just the stuff that happened on the last lap or with 2 to go, I just somehow got 2nd. I was just really surprised by that. I mean, of course, I fell 1 spot short, but it is what it is. I mean, congrats to Dale to win here, and it was just really fun racing tonight.
Alrighty, do you have anybody you want to shout out? Sponsors, teammates, anybody who gets it done for you in that 41 machine?
I'd like to thank the boys at SBLD for providing the setup for our race. Just my teammates, Jeffrey, Dalton, Brett, Oscar, Brian, those guys, and yeah. I mean, I just kind of don't know really what to say, really. I mean, probably 24 hours ago, I didn't imagine at all racing in this league, and 24 hours later, I finished second in my first race back in a while. So yeah.
All right, well, congratulations, Michael Kruger, your second place finisher here at New Hampshire. And Ben, I believe you've caught up with the driver who finished it in 14th position. On the opposite end of the spectrum, that is Rich Petrucco.
Hey, Rich Petrucco, it's Ben Smith up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey Ben, how are you?
I'm doing all right. It was an exciting race out there. Tough break for you, Rich. You ran a great race out there, and looks like you went for broke and came up short there in the end.
Yeah, I had to. I knew I couldn't lift there. Or he was going to be able to get away from me in the next corner, and so I just had to keep my foot in it. Unfortunately, couldn't keep it under me. Made a big. Didn't take fuel when we all pitted there at the end for tires, and made a huge swing on the perches for a short run. And fortunately, I think if that last caution didn't come out with whatever it was, 5 to go, I had a run and I was going to get under him on the next corner. So kind of bummed, but it is what it is. Super stoked for Lycus.
So it was a lot of good, clean racing out there between you and Dale all day. But as you said, you had nothing to lose to go for broke there. You already have 2 wins on the season. You feel like you still got the same mentality now going into the regular season finale at Pocono?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, we're in the playoffs, so checkers or wreckers, we're going for the wins, man.
And before we go, you got any other guys you want to thank out there?
Yeah, for sure. All the guys at EPI, Elite Performance Industries, they do a great job. RaceEPI.com. Dustin Hall from Team Connie is the main builder there. We put some work into this one this week. Got a little bit more tweaking to go, but he gives me a rocket ship every week. So thanks for him. And then the guys on I've moved over to Silver Bullet Racing with Cam Stone. So thanks to him and thanks to those guys, and we're just gonna have some fun.
Awesome, Rich. Even though it wasn't the result you were looking for at the end of the day, congrats on a solidly run race throughout the day. Looking forward to seeing what you can do at Pocono.
Yeah, can't be mad about it. Appreciate it, guys.
And alrighty, the interview I think everybody's waiting for here. It is the race winner. The winner here at New Hampshire, Dale Lucas Jr. Congratulations. What a way to get the win.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, we just held on to it. I couldn't tell you how.
Well, it was an exciting run there from the start of Stage 3. A couple times there it looked like we were going to get that stretched out green flag run. And then we had those issues, especially that late incident with Oscar Enriquez losing it out of Turn 4 there. What was going through your mind, that caution there that brought about 10 laps to go, that kind of bunched the field back up when you had about a 3-second lead?
Yeah, I was super sad at that point. I wasn't thinking we had anything left. At that point, I wasn't too worried about Rich because I knew he was on older tires, but I was really watching the 2 behind him and just trying to keep making a gap. And every time I saw him close in a little bit, I'd drive a couple more hard laps trying to just pull away a little bit. The guy in my ear was telling me, slow it down, you need to save some tires. And I was like, I don't know how to do that. So we were just pushing it all out the whole race. And I think Rich would have had me if he didn't lose it. It would have been a close one for sure.
Yeah, and of course, that last lap move, he made that last-ditch effort there. But the big picture here, this win locks you in the playoffs. You are off that cut line. You're no longer in the hot seat. You don't got to worry about anything anymore. How does that make you feel getting ready now to have Pocono as kind of just a race you can go for the win and not have to worry too much about, point situations, this, that, and the other. You can just go out and have fun that last race of the regular season.
Well, 100%. I try not to make it about the points, but it always is about the points, and this whole couple last races are just staring at the cut line and going, all right, I needed this, and you're not really enjoying it. You're just trying to do it, and it's such a good chip to be off the shoulder, knowing that now I can go out and have fun, and if something happens or I get into somebody, I'm not going to be out, and because that's what I was really worried about. You spin out, you do anything, you get wrecked, there's your chances right there, and I was worried about that all race, just thinking, if I lose it, it's over, and it makes it more of a heartache and stressful than just doing what you need to do and just racing.
Alrighty, anybody you want to shout out? Sponsors, teammates, anything? What gets it done for that 69 truck to put you in victory lane here tonight?
Yeah, I've got to shout out a couple people. My wonderful girlfriend, she's sitting right next to me. She lets me put all this time into real racing and iRacing, and I couldn't do it without her. But I also got to give a big shout out to a lot of my sponsors that are on this truck. They do sponsor me in real life, and I'm thankful for every single one of them. We've got TTK, Dairy Queen, Oak Creek Automotive, Braking Equipment, Cheryl's Club 175, Bumper to Bumper, HTP, Bergies. There's a lot of people that just help this thing do what it does. I also got to give a big shout out to my own company. I do paint iRacing cars and stuff. Spectre Racing Designs. Check us out on Facebook. But I also want to shout out a couple viewers and stuff like that. Thank you, everybody, for coming out and checking us out and staying with us and watching this amazing race. Hopefully it was enjoyable for everyone. I know everyone over here at BRN, they do an amazing job broadcasting, and we wouldn't want it any other way. But I also got a shout out. So there's actually 2 other Dales watching this. I've got a team of 3 of us. So there's me, my dad who is watching tonight, and then I also have a guy that helps me on the crew. His name's Dale as well. Got to give a big shout out to everyone there. My mom, it's her birthday tomorrow, so happy early birthday, and I'll see you tomorrow. I think that's all I got. I know I talk too much.
Alrighty, well, congratulations. Huge victory here for you. Get it done in New Hampshire again. Great run. Congrats again.
Thank you very much.
And alrighty, that was your race winner, Dale Lucas Jr. Always a pleasure to talk to, and just a very well liked, I think, victory all around by a lot of the guys that we race with here. I think everybody's pretty happy for him, and it's always fun to have a driver like that. Everybody universally can be like, yeah, awesome. So Ben, final thoughts about the race here?
I mean, it was entertaining from start to finish. I love this track. It's basically my home track, and the Magic Mile proved why it's so magical. We had great racing throughout. Different guys with different lines that worked for them, and it really wasn't settled until the checkered flag flew.
Yeah, it was just a constant battle, from stage 1, we saw Rich Trucco starting to pull away, but we saw Alonso Chicano reeling him back in there, closing it in. I was starting to think maybe that was going to be our battle, but then Dale Lucas Jr. fired off in stage 2, just had something the others didn't there for that second stage. And, we saw the issues with Alonso Chicano, then got caught up in that stack up at the start of stage 3, and that really just turned the race on its head from there. We really started getting a little more of that, I guess you could say the endurance ability of this race. Just they started dropping left and right there. And then all the way to the end, just an exciting race all around. Just tons of fun. And, man, what a way to have, what a way to get your win here.
And a lot of diverging strategy, too, that adds some compellingness there. Like, how about that move 3 wide by Lucas to knowing he had better tires than the 3 guys in front of him? He made the bold moves on the track, and it paid off well for him. I also like to say I've been on 2 broadcasts with you, and I'm 2 for 2 on picks now.
Yeah, I've got a bit of the announcer's jinx there. It's not been going too well for me, but 2 for 2 so far. I think everybody will be wanting to start paying you a little bit of money trying to see if they can get your lucky charm off you.
Yeah, they will. They have the Irish luck rub off on them.
But yeah, no, it's been exciting. And, of course, one race left in the regular season, the final race before the playoffs begin. That is going to be next Wednesday here on JCTV. It's going to be at Pocono. It's going to be a heck of a race. You're not going to want to miss it. The battle is heating up. You got all these guys that are lined up on the outside in points. They're going to have to fight their way in. You've got guys like Kyle Reuter, Jeffrey Armistead, Brian Haynes, Brett Bennett, Joe Gwill, Oscar Enriquez, Brian C. Smith, and Mason Lowry. They're all there in that top 20. If they can get the win at Pocono, they can punch their ticket to the playoffs. But on the flip side of that, the guys that are currently in right now, Nolan Hodgson, Dalton Kelly, they are still on the hot seat. They're not fully locked in yet, because if they get a new winner, one of those 2 could get bumped here in favor of that new winner. So it all depends on what happens. But of course, the 2 that locked themselves into the playoffs today, Dale Lucas Jr. with his win, and Carl Felver has locked in on points. So with all that being said, final remarks here. What are we looking forward to next week?
I think with Pocono, we're going to be looking at a similar situation with seeing who's going to be good on the short run versus the long run, trying to take care of the tires and handling. It's got flat turns similar to New Hampshire. It's just going to, and then there's also the big thing that's going to be added in different is bigger braking zones. So we're going to possibly see some guys that are going to wear out the brakes next week.
And what are we thinking, early picks here? Not just for Pocono next week, but also championship picks. Playoff season's upon us. Who do we think is going to get it done and hold that championship trophy up at the end of the season?
I think early, as we look at the points, I think some of the early goers you gotta like Cameron Stone, who has 5 wins on the season, and I'm sure he's looking to secure that top seed for the playoffs. And I'd also have to say, don't count out Rich Petrucco either. Petrucco has shown speed at pretty much everywhere we go, and has been, even though he only has 2 wins, that's not the whole story of the season. He's been a big factor throughout this season.
Another guy I got my eye on too, that 60 truck of Zach Rinker. Always fast, always brings a fast truck to the racetrack, so I think he'll be the one to watch as well. But talking about the playoff stuff, it's not fully settled too, because there's one guy that possibly could fall out of here. Eric Wineland has to make one final start. He has to get one start to get to 12 and 20. So long as he makes a start next weekend, he's in the playoffs, no big deal. But if he does not start, that opens up another playoff spot, and that'll make things a little more interesting. So we'll have to see next week when the time comes around. But I think that'll about do it for us here in New Hampshire. An exciting race, a fantastic one here, and I'm so glad you all got to witness it with us. Of course, signing off here, thanks again to Ben Smith coming out to help us tonight, Adam Kuhn as well, everybody at JCTV for that matter. This is Dawson Allen signing off, saying so long and good night.